Okay, we are now recording. So it's been a while since we played B Team. Lots of things going on, so I had to scour my brain to try and remember the things that had happened. But last we met, you guys had followed up on a clue brought to you by the prisoner you had taken at the wedding reception, who said that who admitted he was part of this cult called the Furious Fire Guys or something like that. It's a second-rate cult at best.
Clearly
because the GM didn't make up the name in advance.
I can find it. Hold on. You guys are gonna make me find it. All right. Well, the place you went to is the Hall of Purifying Flame, but the
It was
guys
the B+
were
team.
called. I can't find it. The Fraternity of the Unforgiving Fire. So I found it. And then you guys followed up on that. It turned out to be, at least as far as you could tell, it was a crew of second-rate cultists with delusions of grandeur. But they had obviously been directed to cause havoc at the wedding reception. So you followed up on that lead to a run-down, sort of tumble-down place near the Tannery District called the Hall of Purifying Flame, which turned out to be quite the grandiose name for a sort of rambly, sort of not very impressive house of cultists. And that went in. You guys snuck in pretty much, and even though they had a giant bowl of fire, like liquid fire, that they were pouring out onto you guys did manage to kill all of the cultists that were in the building and begin searching the area. Now, remind me, do you guys recall if we searched anything? Did you guys get a chance to search a thing, or did we stop before that?
I'm pretty sure we found it all.
Found it all. You found all the artifacts that were buried under the floorboards. Okay. No, I mean, does anybody have anything written down as far as treasure from here or anything like that?
That would have been me.
I think I had a +3 sword and armor of invincibility.
At this point, you're a spectator, Andrew. How do you get +3 swords? No, that didn't happen.
Hey, when you hand out artifacts, you kind of hand them out to everybody.
I do, yeah. I try to be as egalitarian as I can when I'm drunk and handing out magic items of incredible power.
I've played with you for 4 years. I've never seen you hand out a +3 anything.
That's a good point. No, wait a second.
+3?
Hey, we had the scepter.
Oh, maybe the Morrowfall was a boon. That was a huge boon.
That was a big boon, but Shane took that for himself and lugged it around for a long time. Also, the thing that
Actually, I don't
turned Vermithral into a vampire. That was a pretty big deal too. What was Ray carrying in that scimitar of hers? Didn't she have a +2 or a +3 scimitar?
It was a +2. Yeah, that was like one of the. Which, don't get me wrong, she was grateful. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I wasn't preparing a punishment, but now that I think about it, maybe I will.
Rand wasn't carrying around much.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment to kowtow.
All right, Mike, did you find anything interesting?
I do not have anything on Beltran.
Okay.
Am I the party guy, the party booty guy?
I don't know. Maybe not. Nobody knows. It's
Nolan has written stuff down here and there, but last thing down was +1 greatsword, +1 ring of protection, and a cameo pendant.
Okay, that's the same thing I've got on the top of my sheet, so maybe that's what we just found.
Here?
No, I think that's from a while ago.
Yeah,
though.
I think that was given to us by somebody that cameo.
Roderick, does that ring a bell, Les?
Oh, that might have been an adventure, the previous adventure.
Yeah, that's from a ways.
I don't think we
back.
searched here. I don't think
you did either. All right, so hold on. Let me get rid of, at least until he comes on, I'm going to get rid of Don's character here.
Chuck playing tonight?
Get rid of.
I don't know where he is. I sent him an email. I don't know where he is.
He's probably still ashamed from assassinating your hook.
He'll pay for that. There's no question about that.
He was sound asleep before we left Les's subdivision.
Yeah, he had a few cocktails too.
So
Oh my God.
So you get the moral compass of the party that's drunk making decisions on a drunk DM. That's kind of how our Friday went. It was just
Yeah, the words "shit show" come to mind.
This sounds like a just perfect opportunity for you, my man. I'm just.
I tried.
I put a stop to all those problems. All right, so you guys, I'm assuming take a bit of time. You look around. This place is a dump, really. But I mean, it really is. These guys, I mean, these cultists with their glorified names and stuff like that. Honestly, this is an old kind of like crappy warehouse in the tannery district that they tarted up with this big bowl of fire, and have been, giving themselves, delusions of grandeur ever since. So it's not super good. You do kind of wander around some of the side rooms downstairs and everything, and you do find one that sort of looks like it's mostly filled with trash, and you can tell that people have been sleeping here, and they're frankly none too hygienic. But in one of them, you do see that there's, amongst the trash and crap is a sort of broken down table, which is serving as some sort of maybe desk of some kind, and there are things on it. So the first thing you notice is there are some papers, and next there is a small box which seems very out of place in this sort of crappy environment, because the box itself, about the size of a cigar box, looks to be crafted of very fine woods and polished to a high sheen. It's a well-crafted little box. But ultimately, other than that, you don't see anything that looks.
In this campaign, Dan's our rogue, right?
Dan's rogue, yeah.
Okay. You want to check the box for traps or anything?
I think that sounds like an excellent plan.
All right. So what are you going to do?
I'm not on the screen, by the way, Les, but whenever you get a chance to add it.
You're not on the screen?
I wasn't here last time we played B, so I'm not there.
Oh, shit. Okay, hold on a second. I'll get you there.
No biggie. I can do die roll on that.
Here you are. We'll just put you in there. Token layer. Pow. You can see it now?
Yes, I see me.
Perfect. Okay. So what are you doing first? Are you looking for traps, or are you looking to see if it's locked?
Traps first, please.
Traps first. Okay. Let's see some dice rolling.
And if I believe that falls under disable device or is it perception?
Perception for searching for traps.
To find him, and then disable device to get rid of it.
Disable will be
Okay.
to open it if it is indeed locked.
Wow.
What'd you roll?
21.
21. That's good. So this was the detect traps?
Yes.
It doesn't look trapped. It is definitely locked, though. There is a small, very delicate silver hasp lock on the front of it. When you pick it up, it's surprisingly heavy for such a little box. Like I said, it's about the size of a cigar box, but it
Did we already searched the people?
it rattles and it's pretty heavy.
Did we already search all the people?
I think so. There wasn't much on there. I mean, they
And
had like
none of them had a
scimitars and
key?
things like that, but nothing magical or anything like that.
Didn't
They
get a key?
each had some surprising amount of silver coins on them. If you tally it all up from the dead guys, it comes out to about 118 silver pieces, which is a surprising amount considering these guys are sort of like, mostly beggars.
Hey, Gordon, are you going to be the party treasurer in this campaign?
I've been writing it down. I can keep doing that.
Okay, I nominate you as the official one.
All right.
You win. Big prize for Gordon.
You've been voluntold. Hey, Les, just in case it matters, that roll should have been 2 higher. I should have had a plus 10. So
2 higher. Well, you even more so did not detect any traps.
okay. All right, so then I try to pick the lock.
All right, let's see this disable device check. Ooh, 26. Damn, that's pretty good. All right, so the lock eases open under your gentle ministrations, and you flip the lid on this little box.
I do what to the lid?
Flip the lid.
Okay.
Open. Just open it up. I'm assuming you open it up.
Yes.
Okay. What did you think I said?
You just
I wasn't
went
really sure what
on
you
that
thought you
word.
said either.
Flip the lid. And inside are 3 small, relatively small ingots of what look to be gold.
Damn, boy.
You got an appraise check for me?
I am happy to do an appraise check. I feel like I'm wasting all my good rolls here, though.
Yeah,
Natty 1-0 for the appraise check. These ingots, you've seen this before. This is the kind of gold that goes to the coiners before it is. This is the gold mines. They smelt it, they ingot it, and then they send it to coin makers. These ingots are also used sometimes for large transactions, but you know that these particular ingots are worth about 100 gold pieces each, which is a wildly large amount of money for these two-bit hustlers to have. There's also a rolled up piece of paper in between the ingots, very small.
Oh, well, let's take a look at that, shall we?
Take a look at
Burn
that.
that really quick.
Huh?
We burned that really quick.
Burn it. That's a good plan. All right. As you can see on your screen now, it has some writing on it. Can you see that?
Yep.
All right. It says, "Dearest brother, although Ramiz Ibn Chadli has paid us well, I fear that his gold may cost us in the end. Those Chelish slavers he deals with are little better than pirates. Rather than load the Incubus in the harbor, as any legitimate vessel would, he had us bring the slaves to an isolated stretch of coastline miles from town. I'm not a fearful man, but the Incubus is bound to be caught eventually. You can be sure they'll turn on us when the satrap's questioners talk to them. Worse yet, Ibn Chadli's vizier is not what he appears. He forced us to build a monstrous shrine in our hall, making each of us participate in his rituals. I was forced to swear I wouldn't reveal what he is, but that unholy thing is binding all of us into some sort. And then there's a piece ripped off.
Yeah.
The piece there's a piece ripped off, and it's
Maybe he was dictating.
Yeah, he was dictating.
yes, it is. Unholy thing is binding us all into some sorcery, perhaps?
But it's torn. Okay.
But it's torn. Yeah, the piece is torn. So this indicates a couple of things. One, as you suspected, Ramiz Ibn Chadli is involved somehow. And he's been paying them a lot of money. Now, it sounds like he's been paying them to kidnap people and sell them to slavers. But if he's done that, it would not be, would not take Sherlock Holmes to put together the idea that Ramiz, who was in love with Lady Legine, might have put together these guys for a special effort as well. And that effort being to release, I don't know, some lions at their wedding reception and potentially come in and save the day.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so I will make that available to you guys if you want to read it again, but we'll go back to here. You guys take your time and go through the entire building, and you do not find anything else of value. Like I said, there's some mostly trash, evidence of people staying here. You don't find any evidence of people being kept here, like slaves being kept here or kidnappers being kept here, but it could be that they didn't bring them here. So that could be. Beyond that, just a couple of, several cooling corpses, which you guys had a hand in turning off.
Seriously, why would you mix your slaving and your thieving? You want to keep those two things separate.
One would think, but what are you going to do? It sounds like that these guys were in the employ, at least partially, of Ramiz Ibn Chadli.
And we know where his villa is that correct?
You do. It's on the Avenue of the Phoenix, which is a rather wealthy part of town.
So good loot.
Yeah, you don't know much about it. You're not from this town, but you do know that the Avenue of the Phoenix is in a wealthy part of town where wealthier bankers, merchants, wizards live in this part of town.
And that note was implying that the Incubus is his boat. Is that right?
Well, I think it's a Chellish ship. Let's go back to that. So the Chellish slavers he deals with are a little better than pirates. Rather than load the Incubus in the harbor as any legitimate vessel would, he had us bring slaves to an isolated stretch of coastline miles from town. It could be Rames's boat. It could be this Chellish boat. Incubus, you would surmise. Does anybody have knowledge local?
That would be a Chellish boat, though. Yeah, that
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like the name of a Chellish boat.
no one doesn't have.
I don't either. I don't believe.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. So what next? I mean, kind of come to a bit of a dead end. You're not sure what you want to do.
Full frontal assault on the villa?
In broad daylight?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. That sounds like a plan.
That's what all of our plans eventually,
Start out as and pretty much end up
Evolve to,
as. Yeah. There isn't a back door that you guys have ever liked. I don't know. What do you think? So it is late afternoon right now. Wait, is it late afternoon? You guys came here did you guys overnight or in the morning?
No, we came here right after. We came here right after the.
Right after from the reception.
Right after the reception. Okay, so you guys came straight here. So it's probably the middle of the night right now.
That's the best time to go and sneak in.
For a full frontal assault on a wealthy merchant's villa?
Yeah.
Well, you're a thief. That's when you want to go.
Good point. So you guys, you're going to leave the gold here, right?
No.
No.
Well, yeah, obviously with everything else, because we killed everything else, so this is now our place.
Oh, good. You have a shitty
Claiming
warehouse
it.
in the crap district,
Right. But it's ours.
Kadira,
With no locks on the doors.
with no locks on the doors.
Great cover.
And a big hole in the wall.
Fresh paint? Come on.
I think
Coat
it
of-
was
yeah,
done-
coat of
I think it was
paint.
done
You guys
with
would
a big hole in the stone. So
You guys
let's-
what do you guys got? Try to accumulate warehouses in all the various cities in which you do damage to?
like, yeah. Gotta home away from home.
You got that place in Absalom already, don't you?
Yeah, our boat's there, isn't it?
The boat's there, yeah. So now
With
you're
our
gonna have a
boat.
crappy warehouse in Kathir. That's fantastic.
Hardcore.
All right, so what are you guys gonna do?
I've got a question. If it's the middle of the night,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not down tons of spells, but I am down spells.
Do you guys want to wait until morning to go attack the villa? So there's
Hang
more
on.
witnesses, lots of people on the street.
Actually, you know what? I'm not. I thought I was down more.
I'm a little concerned that if we don't keep this trail hot, we're going to lose it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and go.
All right.
Screw spells. Who needs them?
Okay. So it's about a. Did you guys brought horses here, right? You were given horses by Master Bashir.
Yes.
Correct.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. So you would go retrieve those horses and begin traveling back through the now
And we're taking our
More
cart with us too.
city of Kathir. What are you doing?
The cart that was out front of here, that's our cart now too. We're taking that with us.
Taking a cart. All right. So you're clacking down the cobblestone streets of Kathir,
If only
headed
we
for
had
the Avenue of the
telephones.
Phoenix. You're gonna have to provide your own coconuts for that. The noise.
Right.
Yeah, carts make a fair amount of noise. So
No. We'll come back and get it later.
come back and get the cart later. Okay, so you're just gonna leave it there. You take. I mean, there's 6 or 7 of you on horseback, so it's not exactly quiet. But it is quieter than a cart for certainly. And you get. It doesn't take you maybe a half an hour to 40 minutes to get down to the avenue. Smaller villas line this avenue. Local residences of merchants and government officials, things like that. Oftentimes, there are intricate designs covering the homes of the doors of these finely covered homes, and most of them are walled manor spaces, so that you have a wall around the grounds, and then multiple buildings inside, and probably with a larger manor building, as the dominant place. It looks like be an area of moderate wealth. You don't know, Ramis. There's obviously richer richer people at the other end of the avenue. But on this part where Ramiz's villa is, it's moderate wealth. I mean, certainly the ends are meeting, but it's not a ton.
What do the neighbors' houses look like, Les?
Similar. So in many ways they're very similar. So they'll have stone walls around them. The gates of these walls, the entryways, will have these very sort of ornate sort of designs. Not necessarily heraldic, but certainly indicatory. Does anybody speak Kadiran? Okay.
Are they both occupied, Les? As much as we can tell, there's neighbors that are occupied.
Yeah, absolutely. There's neighbors. There's even a little bit of traffic on the street at this time of night. So it is about 1 o'clock in the morning by the time you get there, and it's quiet, but the street is well lit by the torches at various places on the walls. There are actual sconces in the walls of the villas where torches have been set and lit. So the street is lit. On corners, you can see sometimes 2 or 3 people sort of standing around. Sometimes guardsmen, sometimes servants in livery. But it is not completely empty. You don't get much. I mean, you might get a second look from a couple of guardsmen on the street as you kind of pull out. It's rare that a half dozen foreigners on horseback come rolling through here, but they don't stop you or anything. They don't pull you over to question you.
Are there like local police types around when you say guards? Is that what you mean?
Well, right, yeah. So these are local gendarmes, constabulary kind of things, Kathiran city police. They wear the uniforms of the local, like city guard kind of guys.
Is there a back entrance to his house too?
There are. So Avenue of the Phoenix kind of goes straight into the heart of the city. The manors are on either side. There are alleys in the backs behind these manors that sort of wind around, because not every manor is the same size, from a land perspective. So the alleys kind of move around back. You can definitely know that there's that's where probably servants, deliveries kind of go into these alleys, which are much less populated and not lit.
Do you guys want me to do a reconnoiter?
Yes, do that.
Okay.
So, Les, I will attempt to hide in shadows.
All right. Give me a stealth check.
Okay. And I'm just basically, just check out the alley around back and then come back and report out.
All right.
What about creating a distraction up front that'll keep him busy with the local constabulary up front?
I think since it's 1 a.m., anything that we do will probably
draw more attention.
Draw more attention than we want.
So rather than let's make it intentional attention,
You know what'd be fun? Flaming wagon running down the street.
Why didn't we think of that?
Always an eye catcher.
Is it big enough? Activity could be going on in the front, and the back would be relatively.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think So from the front of the villa of Ramiz's villa to the rear, where the alley is probably a good 150 yards. So it's a fairly large area.
Kind of a deception.
So flaming arrows into the buildings to the left and right.
Right.
And then,
Exactly.
It probably happens all the time in this neighborhood.
Oh, totally.
All right, why don't we keep that as a backup in case I should.
Okay, go reconnoiter.
All right, 17. So the first thing you do, hold on a second. The first thing you do is go. So that's your stealth check. All right, 17. Give me a quick rundown of what you're going to check first.
I'm basically just trying to gather information. So I'm going to go down the alley. I'm going to be looking for any doors or windows on that level. I'm going to be looking, obviously, just to try to get information to report back to the group.
Okay. So you go back in the alley. It's quite dark. So a 17, and there's no people back there either. So a 17 stealth seems like it would be quite enough for you to get close. You do get to what you suspect is the rear entrance to Ramiz's villa. Excuse me. It's a large set of wooden double doors. They do not have the sort of ornate designs that the front doors have, but it does have some Qadiran lettering on it and that kind of stuff that's painted, but much stouter, iron banded doors, and it looks like a pretty substantial lock on there. It's connected to the walls, which are about, I want to say about 12 foot high of stone. They look like maybe they have some spikes or small pieces of metal and put it on the top of the thing that would saw through maybe ropes if they were thrown over, that kind of thing. The first thing that strikes you is for a mid-level, a moderately wealthy merchant, this is a fair amount of security.
Yeah. Okay.
Which makes you wonder what's on the other side of that.
Makes me want to go in.
I think that just means he needs to die. I'm pretty sure.
They all need to die, Mike.
You also
Right, so
notice
then-
another thing. The next door, Ramiz's next door neighbor, although seemingly okay from the Avenue of the Phoenix, from the rear you can see that there has been a fairly large fire at that villa, in the rear of that villa, sometime recently. I mean, it doesn't. You can still smell a little bit of the charcoal. It's not smoking or anything, but there's.
Yeah. So someone beat us to our plan.
buildings.
See, that's perfect.
Someone beat us to our plan.
Yeah, somebody already shot flaming arrows in there.
Exactly. Let's
See, this does happen all the time in this neighborhood.
Yeah, maybe so. It's something. It looks like several buildings of that on that villa's grounds have been recently burnt.
Let's light them up again and pound on the door and tell them the neighbor's on fire.
Again.
Just say.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know your house is on fire? Yeah, come in. Grab a bucket.
Shit's on fire. Yep.
All right, I will go back to the group and inform them of all that.
All right. Cool.
Ask them if they want me to try picking that lock.
It's on the burned down door? Sure.
No, the other, his door, the good door.
Front door, like we normally do.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are sort of standing around, and Jennifer, you will notice that the guards are sort of watching you guys. They're not moving towards you, but like I said, a half dozen foreigners on horseback sort of hanging around is odd.
Don't mind us. We're just scoping.
Yeah. At 1 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine out front of your house there's 6 people from out of town on horseback sort of just wandering about, clip-clopping.
So the barbarian turns around and yells at him, "What are you looking at?"
Yeah, they're coming now.
Yeah. What are you looking at?
What are you guys looking at? Screw off, pigs.
Yeah, really. We're here church business. The cleric turns around. Church business.
Church business, yeah. They're not from our church. All right, so Sven comes back, tells you guys all this stuff. What are you going to do? What do you think you do? He's like, I could try picking that lock, climbing the fence.
We need to get out of sight first. Not in direct line of the guards that,
Do we want to hang out in the burnt out house then?
Oh, yeah, that won't look suspicious.
Well, I'm not saying we just walk through the front door, but it could be a good place to sit and create a plan.
I don't think it's empty. He said it was occupied. It's just that it's been burnt recently. Right? Didn't you tell us about
Don't know if you guys don't know if it's occupied or not. It's the middle of the night. It's pretty quiet over there. Actually, it's quiet down the whole street. These people have jobs.
We're about to change that.
At least maybe we continue walking down the street and double back.
Okay, so you guys carry on down the streets, or as normal?
Yes.
Farina and Otto will break off.
No, for you.
I mean, shit. Different game.
Yeah.
Llama will go back to the back. Llama's getting antsy. It's too much fancy footing around. She'll go back to the back alley.
What do you do with your horse?
Leave it.
Like just sitting there on the street?
No, I'd probably hand it off to
We
one.
parallel park them.
Okay. Well, you got a half dozen horses, so I mean, it's
Yeah,
not,
no.
and they're not, and they don't belong to you. They're gifts from Master Bashir for your use.
I mean, we've been spotted by the locals, you know, so
Mhm.
we probably need to move on.
Actually,
So-
you know what? Give me a perception check.
Everybody or Bama?
Just Lama.
Lama Bama.
She's not very perceptive. Farina, Lama. I choose Farina tonight.
You can't play one character of the thing, even though the timelines are
That's
14. You will. I don't know that you would notice.
right on the edge.
Yep, right on the edge. All right. So you dismount. You give your horse to, I don't know, Sven,
Whoever's closest.
whoever's closest. So maybe
We give them all to Matt.
maybe
since his
Rindle,
character's
or not
leaving.
Rindle.
Just
I'm sorry.
Tell Rindle to take them all back.
So Rindle is Matt's character.
Right.
All right. So you're gonna dump the horses on him and have him head back to like Master Bashir's.
And I'm going to tell him to stay away from my girl.
He just smiles and said, "Hey, I've got 6 horses." All right, and he will take your horses and head back to Master Bashir's the other way. He makes in traditional Rindle fashion, he makes a pretty big production out of it, so that the constables see them departing, and he tries to make it look like you guys are all departing in that same way. One thing you notice, though, Lama didn't notice, but the rest of you roll perception checks before you go around.
14.
All right, Mike
Hold on a
made it.
second.
Kazir made it. Sven's paying attention to Lama. Was that Nolan?
Nolan, yeah.
Nolan's paying attention to Lama. All right, so Beltran, you and Kazir, Snapper missed. He's paying attention to look in the wrong direction. Beltran, you and Kazir both spot this. Is that there are fewer constables. So the constables were broken up in a couple of different places in 2s and 3s. They're just standing there, kind of keeping an eye on things, lolling, smoking their pipes.
What they do.
You notice now that they've come together in one cluster of about 4, which is about 2 fewer than you originally remember seeing when they were spread out.
Yeah, these guys are paid off. They're paid off to watch.
Instead of there being 2 groups of 3, now there's 1 group of 4. You don't see the other guys.
Well, Kazir and I will point that out to the rest of the group, but I don't know what to do about it.
Might not be able to do anything about it.
Oh, we can do something about it. It might be wrong, but we can do something about it.
Never been a fan of the police anyway.
Yeah, screw you, pigs, Katherian pigs. All right, so Rindle takes off with the things, and you guys are sort of on the corner. I'm assuming you go back quietly towards the alley and around the ring.
Yes.
Okay. You get back there without any problem. You don't see any of the cops, and Sven shows you to the door of Ramiz's house, shows you the gate, and it's pretty much as he described. He also shows you that down the way next door, you can smell the smoke on the air, the smell of burnt, and you can see some of the destruction. The outside doors of that particular villa are open. They are not closed and locked.
Let's go that way. Let's go into the neighbors.
Yeah. I agree.
Because we're probably going to have to deal with these folks that are trailing us now.
Well, you don't know if they're trailing you. They just don't know where they are.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're trailing us.
It's possible.
But
Can
you know
I?
what? That's the good thing about a trap is you just spring the trap and then deal with it.
Well, and speaking of traps, you want me to go first just in case there's any traps?
Yes.
Okay, so you go into the neighbor's yard. Is that what? Do I have that correct?
And we want to work our way into the house if possible.
Into the neighbor's house?
Yes. You said the doors were open, right?
Well, the doors leading into the villa. So the idea is these villas are like patches of land, that are walled by stone walls. It's not a building per se. When you go in, then there's gardens, there's outbuildings, and then the main building, the main villa, is inside there. So it's like, it's there's a building inside, which is the villa, and then surrounding it is a walled patch of land.
Okay. So then into the villa land.
Yeah.
I'll take out my weapon and follow Sven.
Okay. So you guys go into the neighbor's villa, and you immediately recognize that there has been a pretty significant fire here, and pretty recently. You can see several outbuildings, which have been burned right down to the ground. You see a couple of other buildings which have been burned probably to destruction, but there are still pieces, and they're not ash anymore. They're a wall may still be standing. Everything's scorched and burned though. There's a lot of destruction here. The grass area is burnt, and the gardens, which you suspect at one time were quite beautiful, have been scorched and burned away. Any mages, give me a knowledge arcana.
I assume you mean arcane mages, right?
Yes, not divine mages. Divine casters. Any arcane casters, give me a knowledge arcana, if you would. And is that only Leonard, or is that you too, Mike?
I'm divine.
Are there any arcane mages with us today?
No, this is our cleric heavy party. Or our divine heavy party.
I have the ability to cast a 0-level spell that technically counts as arcane.
Brindle was the other wizard. He's out too.
He's out too. All right. Hold on a second. All right. I guess give it a shot. Knowledge. Knowledge. I guess. Do clerics have spellcraft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Spellcraft check then. For anybody who has it.
Ooh,
Well
shit.
done. Yeah, excellent work, Snap.
Wow.
You're not sure that magic even exists.
Wow.
That's Nolan.
Okay. So Nolan comes closest. Beltran, I don't know that you would get it, but Nolan, you suspect that the fire here. You look a little bit at the way things burnt, and the way you can see a little bit of the flame pattern. You suspect that this was no ordinary fire. This looks like magical fire did this, and it looks like it might have come from the direction of Ramiz's villa. Like there's a splash pattern, I guess, for lack of a better term.
His villa is not damaged at all.
It doesn't seem to be, no.
Okay.
He's a bad neighbor.
I'll pass that on.
He might be a bad neighbor. So as you guys approach the villa building, the building proper, you can see that despite the fact that the building looks okay from the other side, you can see that the back side of the villa has taken a significant amount of damage. This is not a building that you probably want to go into. Structural damage is pretty extreme. A significant portion of the rearward walls are burnt completely off. You can see a fair amount of, even in the moonlight, you can see a fair amount of interior damage. There's nobody living there.
How tall is the wall between this villa and Ramiz's?
Well, to this villa you're at, the walls are a little shorter. They're about 8-foot walls, but you can see Ramiz's 12-foot walls just on the other side. There's probably a gap between the two walls of maybe 2 feet. You can get in there, but it's going to be a bit claustrophobic.
That's interesting.
But yeah, probably 8 foot for this guy. You can see Ramiz's walls sort of easily overtopping these.
We could pile crap up in front of the 8-foot wall, climb to the top of that, put a board over to the 12-foot wall, and hike up it and down.
Probably. At the very least, if you climb the 8-foot, you can get a look over Ramiz's walls.
Oh, that's 4 foot.
2 foot by 4 foot. That's not good. Hell, you do worse on a ladder on a Tuesday. Llama's gonna hop the wall.
Okay. You're going to get up on the 8-foot wall and then leap over.
No, I'm just gonna climb up on the wall and see what's what.
Okay. You're going to jump up on the top of the 8-foot wall as opposed to the 12-foot wall.
Right, and then
All right.
I will
Give me
crouch
a climb check.
I will roll an 18.
8? Is that another 18? Excellent. All right. So you don't have any problems climbing up to the top. I mean, you have to you just reach up and pull yourself up. I mean, you're Llama, you're 6 feet tall, right? Maybe even taller?
Yeah, it's not too tough. I'm under.
It's not too tough. So you just sort of lever yourself up there, easily done. You stand up on the wall. The wall is probably 8 inches to 12 inches wide. From a defensive standpoint, you as a military woman recognize that this is not probably what you would consider a defensive wall. It's more of a decorative wall, but you can easily see over the Ramesses' very staunchly defensive wall into the other villa area. And what you can see is similar to what you expected to see in this neighborhood. So there's a large villa building sort of towards the front. You see several paths going around back. You see outbuildings, one of which is relatively close, looks like it might be a tool shed of some kind. You see what looks to be a private chapel, sort of near the towards the back corner. A couple of other buildings, including one that looks like a wagon house for wagons to be able to turn around and that kind of stuff. And several other smaller areas. The gardens are very well cared for, very well trimmed. They don't. They look like they're cared on a daily basis. So you suspect that there might be one of these smaller buildings might be servants' quarters of some sort.
No people, no animals out in the courtyard wandering around.
It's not lit. You do not see any lights, except for there is a what looks to be some sort of lights burning on the second floor of the villa, near a window. But you can't from here. You can't see what's going on in there.
In the back of the villa or the front of the villa?
In the back of the villa, not in the front. You're looking at the back of the villa.
Okay. I relay all this. I lay down on my 8-foot wall and look down at my compatriots and relay all of this.
Okay. One other thing that you did notice is something just to confirm something that Sven saw is that the top of Ramesses' wall is embedded with small shards of what look to be either glass or metal, or in some cases both. And they look like they ring the entire wall. This is very definitely designed to cut ropes that might be thrown over and potentially do damage to climbers.
I relay that as well.
Okay, so I put my rope away.
I think we can tear the house apart that we're in, grab boards and create a plank. I don't think a 4-foot by 2-foot. You can find thick enough boards. I think it's doable, but I relay all that and my suggestion to my peers.
Okay.
Can I check the that gate door with the big lock on it? First, check it for traps, and then
around the in the alley.
Yeah, the back of Ramirez's house.
Okay, absolutely. Check for traps, and then check to see if you can disable it.
Yeah.
Okay. It does seem to be. It is both locked and trapped. There is a very cleverly designed spring-loaded dart trap on the lock. It looks like it would probably be easily. Your familiarity with this is limited, but you suspect that it's something that would be pretty easily disengaged from the other side. But if you were to start picking this thing without checking for traps, you think you could very easily set off that dart. In your experience, these darts tend to be poisoned.
Lovely. So I would need a disable device check to deactivate or set off the trap.
Yep.
And then a separate one for the lock.
Yep.
Okay. I relay to the party and ask if they want me to give this a try.
No try, only do.
Anybody got a cure poison on them, just in case?
I giggle.
I'm fresh out.
Or do you want to do the plank idea instead?
¿Por qué no los dos? Why not both?
Yeah, I'll at least try to set off the trap and deactivate it.
All right. 15. You just barely managed to set that thing off, and it starts to you're twiddling with it, and it starts to go off, and you manage to put one of your thieves' tools sort of in the spring that's setting it off, and the dart just kind of like poops out onto the floor, and you can see that it does definitely have some sort of blue goo on the dart that had it shot off, it probably would have hit you.
Grab that dart.
I'm betting the DC was 15.
Yeah, the DC was exactly 15.
All right. Well, then now I'm going to give the lock a try.
Okay. Oh, easily comes apart. Practically comes apart in your hands once you've deactivated the trap. It just it's a pretty simple lock.
All right, gentlemen, the door is available if you want it.
Deal.
I hop down, just stand in the back of the line. I'll hold up the back.
Okay. You open those doors. They squeak a little, which gives you a bit of a heart attack. But you do get them open where you can get into the villa, at least as far as you can tell, sight unseen. You have a better eye view of the light up on the second floor coming out of the villa, but no other lights in the area. Again, there's a couple of outbuildings, a little chapel, some tool sheds and things like that. The gardens are very sweet smelling and quite well trimmed. So as you proceed under the moonlight through here, you're again struck at how tastefully done this place is.
Scimitar.
We need to commandeer this place too.
I don't know that you could just take over people's villas, dude, by killing them. I don't know that that's right.
This should be in better villas and gardens.
All right, so Lama has her scimitar out. Anybody else doing anything as you guys walk through?
I've got my bow and arrow ready, but I'm going to start heading for the back.
Yeah, I got the bow out and ready.
All right, so you guys are going to go to the to the manor house itself.
I'm going to enact mage armor.
Is there any sign of like? Did you say there was a place for horses?
Yeah, there's a wagon. There's a wagon turnstile that's sort of like a garage almost, like a small chapel off in the corner, surrounded by
Is there any carts in here right now?
Yeah, our crap could still be in the cart.
So you're gonna take a look in there?
That'd be easy.
Give me a perception check.
Because we've been kind of right on this thing the whole time, so it's not like they've had a ton of time to do anything.
True.
Hey, Les, do you have a map?
No, I do not.
Okay.
At least not yet.
Well,
What did you ask for?
I don't know if I'm missing something because I'm
No.
I'm gonna stand back and pray. I guess. I mean, I'm not trying to.
Okay.
I'm not the.
Loudly.
Yes, loudly. Oh Lord!
Lordy, Lordy.
This the holiest of hand grenades with the I blow up the bow.
So, Mike, you peer in the garage. There is definitely room for at least 3 wagons in there, but only 1 wagon is in there right now, and no horses.
Is there anything in the wagon?
It looks empty. I mean, you go in there and check it out. It's an empty wagon.
Okay. All right, so I've already got it inside.
Okay, so you guys head for the manor.
Yep.
All right. So you stealth up. You sneak up to the edge and come up to the rearward door, and it opens. I mean, it's completely unlocked, and you go in. You find yourself in a small kitchen, and you begin to spread out and sort of check things out. You find
Have a snack.
Yeah, you find a kitchen, a dining room, a bathing chamber, which is everything well apportioned, comfortable bedrooms. You actually even go down in the basement, which has a couple of storerooms, another kitchen, some servants' rooms, a disheveled sort of like guards' quarters, which you probably think of. All of these places are empty.
We figured out quickly.
You go upstairs.
That's just for Grant's side. Give me something to do. If we're walking around, I'm going to have detect magic going on.
Okay.
And, looking for secret Just see if they see anything that pops out like a door or, whatever.
Everything looks pretty mundane. You don't
That's okay.
you don't detect any magic, anything specific. Occasionally, you will find a continual light globe, which is now off. It has some residual magic and that kind of stuff, but nothing really of note.
Just give me something to do.
Okay. You go upstairs, and you find what looks to be a pretty well-apportioned study. A large room which contains a couple of desks, bookcases, things like that. And as you sort of spread out and search that room, you find a couple of things that hold your interest. There's a box on top of the desk, crafted in the same manner of the one that had the ingots, only larger, that has a bunch of papers in it. Various kinds of, this is the study of a wealthy merchant, so there's a lot of paperwork, manifests, and things like that. But if you look into the stuff that's in this box, you find a couple of things. First, you find very neatly organized a sheaf of love letters that had been written to the Lady Lugine by Ramiz that had been returned to him once.
The pages stuck together?
No, they're not stuck together, but they are. They do. Several of them have been returned unread and are still sealed. The others look like they've been opened but returned as sort of en masse. They were all sort of put together in one group. Looks like they may have been returned to him after Lady Lejeune decided to marry the Pathfinder guy. You also find another bundle of papers that details, in fairly large detail, Ibn Chadli's dealings with a band of Chelish slavers. Slaving, so you would know that slaving isn't necessarily illegal in Kathir, but it does look like these papers sort of look like that they maybe are abducting Kadirans for sale in Cheliax, which would be illegal. There is a note sort of near the side that says that outlines the details of a rendezvous with Ramiz at sunset on the day after the wedding, which is going to be, it's after midnight now, so it will be today. So you find those things. Did you guys do any other kind of search of the room or anything like that?
Nolan found it all. Or Jennifer didn't.
Wow.
Well, Jennifer's downstairs keeping watch for guards.
Okay, so Nolan found it all.
All right, hold on. I got to send Lama a message. All right.
I want to take these papers.
Make a brooch, pterodactyl.
We could do that. It's a classic movie. Not that they need evidence of how screwed up that guy was, but
just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're picking up these?
To validate my murder of him.
Yeah.
Anything to justify murder. All right, so what about the rest of you? Beltran is gathering up these papers. What do the rest of you do?
I'm heading towards the kitchen quietly.
Okay.
Use stealth. That's not gonna
All right, give me a stealth roll when you get a moment.
I'm not gonna really call Llama's stealthy, but we'll try.
And unless you had said there was a light on the second floor.
Yeah, it was actually in the study. There was a lantern lit.
Interesting.
And it was actually in this room on the desk, burning away.
Actually burning? So a
lantern. So there's, it's an oil lamp of sorts.
The thing is, how long?
Yeah.
Somebody's been here recently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it was burning. Oh, natty! That's 2 natty 20s in a row for Lama.
What's going on over there?
You don't know. She's downstairs. What about the rest of you? You guys are still in the study. What do you guys do?
Nolan's searching.
All right, give me, anybody who's going to search, give me a perception check.
Okay. Let's just do that.
Wow. Did you say everybody do a perception check?
Yep. Anybody
Anybody
who's still in
searching?
the thing.
Got a lot of 20s there, Les. You must have found something.
Dang. Except in one natural one. Thanks, Beltran. He's reading the love notes.
I'm reading the
Man,
love
this is
letters.
pretty
I'm like, wow, did you see
stuff.
what this guy said?
Taking it. There you go. All right, so 18, 21, 22. Kazir comes through. Kazir, as you are sort of wandering around inside the thing, you happen to you're wandering around behind the desk, kind of like just looking around, and you happen to just like boot a small little what looks to be like a little upturned tile, like a ceramic tile in the floor, and you're like, well, that's weird, and you kind of reach down and you just flip it up, and there's a recess underneath, behind the table, behind the desk.
What appears to be in the recess, if anything?
You look in there.
Yes.
All right. So inside, you see a couple of things. You see a small leather bag, what looks to be a large book, and some other parchments and things.
I'll call Sven over to check it out.
Okay. Svensky, touch this and see if it's poisonous.
Yeah, let's do a little trap check then.
All right. What'd you get? 17. You do not think you see any traps. It just looks like a small hidden recess in the floor, hidden by that loose tile.
All right, let's open it.
All right. So you pull out. What do you look at first? The book or the bag?
The bag.
The bag. So you open that bag up. It jingles in ways. You open it up and you realize that you have found something that you're pretty sure you're familiar with. In fact, you suspect that what you've found is the Jewels of Kelmer. This is one of the artifacts that were stolen earlier today. Collection of cloisonne clasps and buckles. These gleaming trinkets once belonged to the infamous blood sorcerer Kelmer. Legend claims that the thirsty spirit Ragathael reduced Kelmer to dust in their final battle, leaving behind only these bejeweled ornaments.
Excellent. So we got one of them back, guys.
That's what you're pretty sure that's what that is. Let me respond to Lama here. Okay. All right. So, yeah, you suspect that these are the Jewels of Kelmer that you found. What do you do next?
Check out the book.
All right. This book is, once you open it, you realize it is a journal, a battered journal, once stolen from a venture captain named Targos Min Kathir. I don't think this was one of the things. No. It was not one of the things. But it is interesting in the fact that it is from a Pathfinder, a Qadiran Pathfinder. It looks like it was stolen. There are notes that describe sites near Kathir, but the text, when you open it, it just falls open to this page that describes the tomb of the upright high priest Ubaydai Abd Hikmah. This is obviously somebody was looking at this page because the book falls readily open to it. It's a location that's about several hours ride up the coast, and it details the isolated site's importance to the local church of Sarenrae.
Interesting. Okay.
But for whatever reason, you suspect that Ramiz was very interested in this site because, like I said, the book, when you put it on the desk, it just naturally falls open to this page.
So this may have been where he ran off to.
Could be.
Okay, I will let everybody know what I found and keep searching, I guess.
Okay. You guys keep searching around. You don't find anything else.
Weren't there some scrolls or some pages or something? In
Yeah, they were just like little parchments and stuff like that. They it wouldn't take you long to look at them and realize that they were just stuffed in there. They were more of those slavers' documents, pieces of other things of no worth to you guys.
So let me get this straight. The entire manor was empty except for this one room?
The entire manor is empty, including this one room.
Damn.
Does anything look like it's been hastily packed, or does this look like it's been empty and thoroughly...
It doesn't look like anything was packed or everything looked, I mean, as you went through the house sort of searching from room to room, I mean, everything looked, other than the absence of people, everything looked completely normal. It doesn't look like, I mean, there was none of the sort of like, debris that accumulates from somebody leaving fast. The grounds seem to be, fine. Nothing interesting happening there. It just looks like it looks fine. It's just there's no people.
Mike, I think we're discovering why there's no map of this.
Yeah,
that's correct. That's what I always like about playing with you guys. You guys are always real swift on the uptake.
That means we got to kill him somewhere else where there's a map. Let's go find somewhere where there's a map.
Yes, I agree. Maybe this place up the coast.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
meeting with the slaver.
All right.
But maybe now we rest.
So no mention of any of the stuff that he stole, though, right?
Well, we got one of the artifacts back from the
We
web.
got one of the artifacts back. I mean, that's pretty damning evidence right there. I mean, this particular artifact, which was just stolen earlier today, was found in a hidden place in his villa. Now, explaining to the cops why you're in the villa, searching around. I mean,
Well, we saw
we knocked on the door to ask him, and we could have swore we heard someone say, "Come in."
and then, yeah, we thought it might have been on fire because stuff was burning.
Right.
Earlier, yeah.
We were concerned.
All right. So Lama, that works. I'm gonna have to type to you. So just hold on a moment. Everyone else, but Lama.
By the way, Les, we can see what you type when on the video when you do that.
You can?
Well,
Yeah.
You're sharing your
Not
screen.
private.
Just so you're aware.
Oh shit. All right. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I didn't realize you guys could see all that. Even my messages to Lama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you dicks! I'm glad you're just bringing it up.
You guys should just call it out, Les. It doesn't matter.
Negative experience.
I didn't know.
Pointing that out.
I didn't know you guys. So it's funny. So the way I have it on my screen is all of your video screens are sort of covering the chat window. So I can't see what the chat window is showing. All right. Well, so Lama, your intimidate check on the two old Ulfin servants down in the lower kitchen works. They are quite servile. They are quite cringing. They seem very frightened of you.
We're quite frightened of her.
You can hear them speaking in Qadiran, which you don't understand. They're bowing. They're sort of moving away. In many cases, it's a man and a woman. They're both easily in their mid to late 60s, maybe even in their 70s, older people. They're averting their eyes, they're bowing, and they're speaking, rapidly in Qadiran, which you don't understand. But they have not made any move to attack you at all.
I just want them to be quiet. That's all I want.
See, it's a good thing Don isn't here because he'd probably have us attack them too.
Oh, I'm sure. Murderous bastard. All right, so you're just like, shh, quiet. Which they do. They shut up. But you can also see them edging towards the door a little bit.
She
like
throws
that.
rocks over and buries in the door right next to him.
All right, so the rest of you guys are upstairs. Lama, you're the only one down there, and you guys are you're in the basement with these guys. I mean, you tell them to be quiet. What else are you going to do? You can hear everybody upstairs kind of wandering about.
I'm really listening for those missing cops. I'm just making sure servants like this don't find us. I'm just listening and listening. If I have to bind these guys and take them up, I will, but I'm just basically securing the first floor while they do what they're doing upstairs.
Okay, so you're going to tie them up?
No, I'm not at the moment, but I'm going to keep
She
listening.
said if she has to.
If I have
Do you say anything other than like, psh?
All I'm saying is just, I'm giving them the impression as long as they sit tight, keep their mouths shut, they're fine.
Okay, they continue to sort of bow, and you know they're speaking Qadiran at first, but then they sort of get the idea that you don't speak Qadiran. So the man sort of says like, "Master, you want to see the master? He's in the chapel. The master is in the chapel, outside. He's outside. Come to see the master." And he's like very broken, kind of common. You don't know if Qadiran is his native language. He's an Ulfin guy, so I mean he's not a native Qadiran. So it just could be that he's been a servant so long that he's forgotten how to speak in normal common. But
I'm just going to put my finger back over my lips and nod my head and just stand there with them.
okay, and he's like, yes. All right. So the rest of you, I assume at some point go, hey, where's Lama? And go downstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get down to the main room, and you peer down into the lower kitchen, and you can see Lama's down there, and it looks like she's talking with somebody, or not talking, but you know you can see her gesturing and that kind of thing. You think she's down there with someone?
I'm going to tell them the guy we went in the chapel, and then I will bind them gently, take their mouths gently, put them in a closet gently.
Leonard materializes briefly with a dagger, stabs them both, and then
Lama tries to be good where she can. She sees these two innocuous, helpful servants. So she'll just set them aside when they can't throw us under the bus and tell the rest of the team where he is.
okay. So you tell them. You tell them what did you? So what do you tell them? That these guys said
that he's in the chapel.
All right. What do you guys do about that?
What are we waiting for?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So you guys go back outside. Everybody, you guys exit the same door that you came in, the rearward door of the manor. Everybody, give me a perception check, real quick.
Lama's holding up the rear again.
Oh, that's pretty solid, Sven. Well done. What about the rest of you?
Hold on a second.
Okay. Adequate.
Yeah.
Nice. Ooh, is that Nolan? Which one's Nolan? Which one's Lama?
22 Nolan, 24 Lama.
Nice. Okay. So Nolan and Lama, you guys would see, and Sven as well. You notice that, at least in the front of the villa, you think it's a bit. Obviously there were torches in the walls and things like that. You think it's a bit brighter out there, like maybe some more torches, sort of down the other side of the street.
Other side of the street.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't see over the wall, so I mean, you're not sure whatever. You're just sort of guessing, but it does seem to be a bit brighter at the front on the Avenue of the Phoenix.
Like where all the police are?
I don't know if there's police there or not. It's just
Are they red and blue torches?
There's more torches there. Yeah, red and blue torches.
Probably flashing.
Running out of
All right.
All right. So you guys move through the gardens. The chapel is in sort of the very back, towards the corner. There's a path that leads there. It's quite a pretty building. It's obviously well tended. There's the gardening is very different around it, so that there's trees that sort of like have grown up over it, so it's shaded. It's quite a nice spot. It has a little steps that go up. It's quite small, maybe 30 by 35 all told, as you approach.
Is there a door at the front?
There's a set of double doors at the front, but it doesn't look occupied at all.
Are the doors open or closed?
They are closed.
All right, quick trap check around the doors.
So you go up to the doors and check them for traps?
Yeah.
Do we close the doors to the alley, or do we leave them open?
I think you just closed them. I don't think you relocked them.
Llama's going to stand back by the doors to the alley, prepared for anyone that might come through from the back, because I feel like we've been spotted as something being up from the front.
Just in case, yeah.
Ooh, nice.
All right. So you go. So Sven, what did you do?
Trap check.
Trap check. So you go up. You go up to the doors. What are the rest of you doing while he's doing that? Are you close by,
I'm
or
watching around looking for,
you have to forgive me? I'm
the police from the front to come around back.
Llama's at the back gate.
Lamb is at the back gate, closing it.
Not well, just being there in case somebody comes in it. So basically on up.
Is this the totally enclosed chapel?
Does seem to be, yeah.
I guess Nolan will go around back, see if there's a back exit.
I know, baby. I know.
Hold on. So you're going to go around behind it.
I know.
Lama is taking care of the door. Will be there momentarily, and the rest of you are sort of hanging back.
I'm going to hang out about, 10 feet from Sven in case something goes badly. I'm there.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let's go ahead and switch here to a place that does have a map.
Uh-oh.
Front row.
Know what that means?
Whoa.
It's clobbering time.
Get ready to roll for initiative.
All right, so you can see that area. If you go to Ben.
Yeah.
This building here is the chapel. So you're going to check those. The 27 is to check for traps.
Yeah.
All right, and Nolan, you're going to go take a look around the building, correct?
Yep.
Okay, go for it. And Lama, you will return once you've. Are you relocking the door?
No, I'm hanging out by the back door, expecting that we're going to get company. I'm basically watching to see. I feel like with the lights in the front, there's additional light up front, and people are snooping around because they feel like it's. I mean, we blew our cover standing out there. I'm just feeling like someone's going to come for us, so I'm watching the back because the chapel is closer to the back, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So, Nolan, you notice that there are obviously windows in the chapel that you have peered through. I can see, and give me a perception check.
Is there light in there?
There is a little bit, not much. It's very
Looks
dim,
like-
not something you would notice, but it looks like that there
Like
is
Khaleesi is standing in there.
a woman in there with white hair. And she is just sort of puttering around. I mean, not really doing anything, not sitting or anything, but she does have a small bow and arrow in her hand. But it's not. She doesn't have an arrow in it. As far as you could tell, she does not notice that you're peering in the windows at her.
You're a peeping Tom.
Hey, Sven, no traps on the doors, as far as you could tell.
All right. I let everybody know that. Is there a lock on the door?
There does not seem to be a lock on the door.
Okay.
I'm going to cast shield.
So should we spring the trap?
Yeah, do we want to head in, guys?
Do we want to talk to her, or do we want to... It's important to know these things before...
I'm willing to talk unless she shoots.
I'm just going to go in and pray.
Well, there you go.
I'm not sure this is your deity.
I'm sure it's not.
You picked a weird one.
Yeah, I did.
All right. So Sven, what are you going to do? You going to open those doors?
Yeah, I'm going to open those doors and just say, "Excuse me."
All right.
We want to give a donation.
Open the doors, and you walk in. Nolan, no surprises here. You see. Hold on. Let me go ahead and give you the official flavor text.
I'm figuring you would go in first. But...
Benny. It's essentially a small. It's exactly what it's purported to be, a small chapel. Over here, there's a a rather large altar with a box on it. Like there's a few small pews in here, generally well maintained. By and large, it looks to be to Abadar. As far as you can tell, it's a shrine to Abadar, which is naturally the god of merchants. But other than that, it doesn't look. It doesn't look super fancy. It does look pretty well used. And then this woman standing there, and she looks up, and she's like, "Hello, can I help you?" She seems confused.
We're actually looking for the master of the house. We didn't mean to disturb you, but we were told he was here.
Master Ibn Chadli? He is not in attendance, and honestly, I'm surprised that you've come onto the grounds. Who let you in? Was it Hroth and Gerdit? Did they let you in?
Yes. We just told them we were looking for them, and they said he was here.
Well, it's quite odd to, although the master typically is not uncommon for him to have visitors this late at night. I can assure you, he is not here.
When was the last time?
He's not on the grounds at this point. I apologize.
Has he been around recently, or has he been gone for a while?
Well, he departed several hours ago, but I don't know. Excuse me, who are you?
Friends.
Yeah, friends.
Friends don't come at 2 a.m. with swords. They come at 4 in the afternoon with a 6-pack.
We think he might be in danger.
Oh, we didn't say we were friends of his. We're just friends.
We'll try diplomacy and basically tell her that we're friends. And
okay, may I ask?
We're here with swords because we think he might be in danger.
Oh, that's your 15 is your diplomacy check?
Yeah.
Okay. In danger. Well, that does sound quite important. But like I said, he hasn't been here for several hours. I don't know where he's gone. But if you had an appointment with him to meet at this time of day, I can't understand why he wouldn't be here. But I assure you, he is not.
No, we didn't have an appointment. We were with him at the wedding, and we followed him back here.
Oh, the wedding. Yes.
Yeah.
The master has spoken of the wedding on several occasions. I was not entirely. I think you may have been mistaken. I'm almost 100% certain he did not attend the wedding, nor was he invited.
Yes, but a lot of his friends were there.
Well, I suppose that's possible. What were your names again? Did you? In any event, he's not here. Did you want to leave a message with me? I can assure you he will get back to you in the next day or so, once his business is completed.
Do you have any idea where he went? We can maybe deliver our message in person.
I don't. I am not his social secretary. I simply am the tender of the chapel. He
chapel did. And I point out, said, do you typically take care of the chapel with the weapon?
Oh, I just have it here. Sometimes the raccoons and squirrels get into the grounds, and I'm a bit of a. And she smiles. I'm not a bad shot, so if I see vermin on the ground, I'll go ahead and shoot it out. The old couple, the servants are, they're good cooks, but they are not good shots.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Well, if you'll give me your names and your business, I'm happy to. And she comes forward a little bit, and she's like, "I'll be happy to provide a message to my master." But I must say, this is uncommon for people to be on the grounds at this point of time. I think it's my duty to escort you off once you've delivered your message.
No problem. We'll be on our way.
Yeah, my name's Fred. That's Ginger, and we'll be back another time.
And she looks around and pulls out some parchments and Fred. That's a foreign name, isn't it? It's not Kadiran.
Fred with 2 D's.
Fred with 2 D's. Ah, interesting. And then Ginger, is that you, sir? And she looks over at Beltran. So are you guys? So right now, all I have is you two guys are in the chapel. Just Snapper and Sven. The rest of you guys are outside.
I would have been right up there when I was talking up there.
All right. What about you, Kazir, and you, Nolan? What are you guys doing?
I'll stay down below.
Down at the bottom of the steps?
Yep.
All right. Kazir, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to stay back here, sort of be the bridge between where Llama is and if she has problems or if fighting breaks out in the chapel.
Okay. All right. So you continue giving her fake names?
Nope. I think it's time to leave.
Can
Yes,
I ask,
believe
by
it
the way,
is.
that box there, Les, does it look familiar at all?
I'm sorry?
Does that box look familiar? Does it look like it might have been one of the boxes from the wedding?
Not that you can tell at this distance. But, all right, give me a quick perception check.
Well, yeah, I'll look too. I mean,
All right? Both of you give me a quick perception check.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's hard for Sven. It's hard for you to tell at this distance. But Snapper, you're looking at that thing and you're thinking, man, it does look like a wedding gift box.
So maybe I'll just bluff that around anyway and just say, oh, actually, that looks like it's one of the things from the wedding that we were going to bring and give to the master. How did it get in front of us?
She looks behind you. She goes, I think you must be mistaken. This was brought here days ago by servants of the master. Something that he wishes to sacrifice to Abadar. As I mentioned before, my master did not attend the wedding for reasons that, frankly, are personal. But I assure you that whatever that is, and she actually kind of steps in front of you a little bit to try.
I'm going to roll a sense motive,
Okay.
which I fail.
Seems legit. All this seems legit. Oh, it was here a couple of days ago. Well, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna try and sense the motive too.
Okay.
Show off.
All right, hold on. I got to do something here. Hold on. Uno momento, por favor.
Because I could just easily roll. I'm not very good at bluffing, especially with these rolls. But I was like, oh, I'm going to step up here and offer a donation or something.
Okay, 1 second. Ooh, good Lord. Okay. Hold on.
I know. I got people are shooting off fireworks.
You're not sure. Honestly, there's something about her that seems weird. And the weirdest part was when Snapper and Sven pointed out the box. She physically took a step. It was pretty subtle, but she physically took a step back and sort of interposed herself even better to block Sven's view of the box. And that's what tipped you off. You're not sure about, I mean, she's saying about like it was here for a couple of days ago, but you definitely get a vibe off her that she's protective of that box.
Right. Oh.
Okay, I signal outside to Kazir. I think things are about to get nasty in here. In case he wants to get Llama.
I think it's time that you gentlemen should go.
I'll say, okay.
I have your names. Do you care to leave any other message? I'm happy to deliver it.
I'm stepping right there though.
Okay.
I'm say, would you mind if we just look at that just to make sure that's not what we think it is?
Well, it's the master's property. I obviously cannot allow that.
Just to look at it?
Again, I don't.
You can
know
stand next to us while we look at it.
I don't know you. I don't know your business here. I am not in the habit of allowing strangers at 2 a.m. to examine the master's property without him present. I apologize. You'll have to come back tomorrow.
Les, I'm going to go out and be there.
You
By
go
that window.
outside to the window?
Yeah.
Okay.
The window is open, is it not?
Well, it's not open, but it's, I mean, there's no shutters or anything. You can see through it. But it's still glassed. I mean, there's no... These windows are just solid glass. They don't look like they open in any traditional sense of the word.
All right.
Okay. Give me another perception check. I'm assuming you're looking at the box.
Yes.
Okay. It's definitely a box from the wedding. You can see you can see the tag. And you think you're pretty sure it's one of the boxes that once held the artifacts.
Wow.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, what was that?
That wasn't at my end.
Not us.
Huh, weird. Yeah, Snapper, that's definitely a box from the wedding, and you suspect it's one of the stolen ones.
Okay.
You guys, the rest of you, Beltran especially, you see Snapper at the back window like,
Yeah, thumbs up. I mean, that's. I'm glad you did it because I was trying to figure a way to say that's what I'm doing.
Beltran and Sven, give me a perception check to see if you see Snapper in the thing.
Well,
Sven, you don't see it, but Beltran, you do, and you see Sven going.
Gotcha. All right. I'm gonna have a word with her. Let me use diplomacy.
Okay.
And explain to her that box was at the wedding today, and it would probably. It's not a threat, but I'm basically gonna say you need to cooperate with us while we get to the bottom of this.
All right.
Holy crap.
29 diplomacy check.
Awesome.
But I don't know that this is what it seems.
All right. So you say,
Awesome.
I am absolutely certain that box was at the wedding today. You need to cooperate with us while we get to the bottom of this, that kind of thing.
Right.
She's like, I assure you, sir, that you are incorrect. I think it's time that you and your friends leave. And give me Beltran and Sven. Give me a quick perception check.
Dang.
Whoa!
Ooh.
All right. Actually, you know what? Snap, you give me one too. All right. Beltran, 20. You see that bow string itself.
Oh.
And the wood turns black of the bow. It turns black. It looked like a regular, like yew wood kind of bow.
Right.
Now it's some sort of even wood, and now it's fully strung. Snapper, you're looking at sort of the back of this woman, and you see what looked to be something begins to protrude from the back of her body, like big, like it's pushing back against their clothing.
Like wings?
Like maybe wings.
Yeah, diplomacy's not going to work here.
I'm going to yell, we need some help. And then I'm shooting her.
Get her, Kazir. Get her. Get Lama.
Then you hear this high, screechy voice say, I think the time for talking is over.
I roll a knowledge religion.
And she begins to change.
Natural 20.
Nice.
She grows about 3 feet taller. Her eyes start glowing red. 2 giant reddish-black wings pop out of the back of her thing, her back. Her clothes just shred before you, and now she's in some sort of weird black armor. She's got a rope with hooks and knots tied into it in one hand, and the other hand she has that bow, which is now a big black long bow, and she's got a big quiver of arrows which are smoking out of the quiver.
Smoking arrows.
Les, with a natural 20 on a knowledge religion, what is this?
It's an Aranize. It's an Aranize demon.
Great.
You've heard of these.
All right.
Female, they're also called Furies. They swoop
Fury.
down and attack the unwary, and they're denizens of the hells.
Okay.
You've never seen one before, but you've heard of them. Let's roll for initiative, shall we? All right. Kazir with an 18.
How far is Llama away in feet to the door?
Beltran, 19.
Natural 20 on him. Shut.
Nice, Snapper.
20. Which one is Lama first and then Nolan, or other way around?
Nolan's 12.
Nolan is 12.
How far is Lama from the door, though, Les?
Several dozen feet.
Okay.
Sven, you got a 12 too?
Absolutely.
Okay, now let me roll for this thing.
It's a good catch, isn't it?
Let's see, what is its initiative? +6, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. That is quite lame indeed. All right, what did I roll? 9. All right, so it is still changing, which is why you guys get a little bit of a jump on it. Snapper and Beltran, you guys will be the first two guys to go. What do you do as it's still kind of like, turning into this immense demon?
Can I cast through the window, or do I need to break the window?
You would need to break the window, unless it's some sort of ray or something.
If it's a ray, you have to. If you're doing a spiritual weapon, that can appear as long as you can see where it's going to appear.
Yeah, that's true. Glass won't stop that.
But yeah, if you're doing like acid splash or something like that at her, you have to break the window.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
What are you guys going to do?
I'm going to hit it with a searing light.
So that you would
Searing
have to
light.
break. You'd have to break the window for that. Well, I guess light would go through glass. I don't know.
Yeah, but it would be filtered.
Yeah. Probably break the window first.
Okay.
Okay, well, I don't know if I can do both, but I'll break the window because I want to do something else too.
All right, so you're going to take an action, and what do you just put your hand through it? Or a weapon?
Yeah, I've got a shorts. I have a light mace.
A light mace. Okay, so you're going to use the mace to sort of like clonk the weapon out.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to mark that window with purple there to show that it's broken. All right, yeah, no problem. I mean, it's just glass, so you just like, and it shatters. And the creature looks around, and she's like, fangs coming out, and eyes rolling up in her head. She looks quite demonic now.
So I don't have time to hit her with a searing light.
No, it would have been a standard action to break, so you got a move action. You can like jump through there if you want.
Yeah. Okay.
You're gonna climb into the room?
Yeah.
All right, so this is gonna be difficult terrain. You have to kind of go through, and you're watching yourself. So you'll end up here next to the altar, in the room at the end of your sort of thing. Because you have to sort of climb up and in.
I know, that's fine.
Okay, cool. Beltran, what about you? I'm assuming that some sort of fisticuffs will commence.
I am going to. Dang it.
Fisticuffs. It's like Duchess of Queensberry rules.
You know what?
Marquess. The Queensberry. It's the Marquess of Queensberry, wasn't it?
I'm taking a shot
Okay.
as a. Hang on.
As an archer.
As an archer, yes. Taking a shot as standard action, and then I'm ducking back down behind the pew that I'm behind.
Okay. Single shot, and then move
duck
action to
down.
duck down. Okay.
Yep.
Go for it, dude. Ooh, 17. That arrow's going to miss as it kind of dodges out of the way, and the arrow goes ting ting and almost hits Snapper.
Okay. I'm ducking down out of the way.
All right. Kazir and Lama. So Lama, you are probably 50 feet away to get there. You could be there in like a round.
55 feet from me.
So move me 40, please.
Okay.
And before I left, I wanted to do a perception. I rolled a 25. Did I hear anybody coming down the alley?
Is that what that 25 was?
Yes.
Yeah, you heard some people back there.
Can I close that door and actually throw the bolt on it?
Yeah, it's got an inside lock. You can lock it.
Okay, so I locked it. I moved my 40, and I holler out, "Somebody bless this weapon, because we're gonna have some fun."
All right. All right, Kazir, you swung your scimitar for a 10.
Yeah, I missed.
All right, yeah, you come up to her and you're just like, "I'm Kazir al Kaleshi," and you come up with the scimitar, and she just like blocks it with her bow, which now has like flames shooting out around it. So in addition to be black wood, it's flaming now.
Oh, Lordy.
But she parries it from you and just smiles.
Hey, Les.
Yeah.
As a free action, I'm going to tell Nolan, too, that we've got company coming up the alley.
Okay. So Nolan, Lama tells you that there's people coming up in the alley. That gives us to your turn, Nolan and Sven.
I'm going to take a full attack action, 2 shots.
Okay.
Both which are available for sneak attacks, and she's flat-footed.
I don't know that she's flat-footed at this point.
So she is, because
it's surprise round. She hasn't gone yet.
And you rolled badly.
Well, I mean, it's not really a surprise round. If anything, she would have surprised you. But I just explained her really crappy initiative roll by the fact that she's still transmogrifying.
If you want to go by the rules, the first round of combat, until it's your turn, you are flat-footed.
So I get flat-footed attacks on all you guys?
Everyone who has not gone yet this turn.
All right. Okay. Sven, take a shot.
Yeah.
You could give it a shot.
That makes sense.
15 is going to miss wildly.
And a 17.
And a 17 will also miss.
Okie doke.
Oh, wait, flat-footed. Flat-footed, right?
Yeah.
All right, 17 will hit.
So does that mean my 17 hit?
Did you roll a 17? I thought you rolled crappier than that. Oh, no, I guess you did roll a 17. So, yes, it would mean that. So go ahead and roll that damage. All right. 6 damage. And 13 for...
And as a reminder, that's magical damage.
Yes.
Okay.
It's magical damage? How's that happening?
So as a reminder, this character has arcane attacks.
Oh, really?
Everything he touches becomes
your
magical.
arrow shots are considered magical for the purposes of DR?
Any weapon he picks up is a +1 to hit magical weapon.
All right.
Mine is not.
Correct. I already applied DR. So of those 2 hits, that's the health bar you can see. All right, Sven, what about you, Nolan? Standing out here, everybody's shooting the place up with arrows.
Nolan's going to cast Shield of Faith on Lama. +2 to her AC.
All right. Lama has Shield of Faith. Hold on, I'll write that down. Okay, perfect. That'll give you +2 against range attacks, correct?
Right.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else? Are you going to move, or?
Is that rope thing she wields considered a range attack?
That's a great question. I don't know that is considered a ranged attack. It does touch attacks. So the longbow that she has is definitely ranged, but the rope is more of a melee attack. Well, you know what? No, it's not. It's considered a ranged attack.
It's just +2 deflection bonus, less. It's not dependent on.
It's not dependent on range. Okay.
Yeah, it's anything. It's just a AC deflection bonus.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. And
are you gonna move? Also, Sven, did you did a full attack action, right?
I did.
Okay. So Nolan, are you gonna move at all?
Yep, I just did.
Okay, so you move inside the building. Okay, perfect. All right, my turn. All right, it is going to use the rope on Kazir. Hold on, let me check one other sort of thing. All right, so its rope is going to snake out against you, Kazir. So let me go ahead and roll that. and this is against touch AC. 25?
Yes. Do I get
All right.
my attack of opportunity now?
If you want.
What wouldn't you want? Ooh, nice.
21 will miss. Now that she is not flat-footed. So that will miss. You are effectively now entangled. The rope zoops out and just like wraps around you, giving you the entangled condition, which means you are ensnared. It impedes movement but does not entirely prevent it unless the bonds are anchored to an immobile object or tethered by an opposing force, which in this case it is. An entangled creature moves at half, cannot run or charge, takes a -2 penalty on attack rolls, and a -4 penalty to dex. If you attempt to cast a spell, you have to make a concentration check or lose it. So you are entangled by this rope, which she has in her hand. And then she begins to rise up off the ground. You can see that the roof line is about 12 feet off the ground, so she lifts up about 6 feet, and those wings are... And she's dragging Kazir upward in with the rope, which she...
I can't hear you anymore, Les.
Probably don't want to hear him anymore.
So she flies up about 6 feet, takes the rope, and it's sort of like she drops it, and it kind of tangles around her waist, so you're connected to her, and you're starting to lift up off the ground, Kazir. At which point she gets that longbow out and has an arrow knocked, and the arrow is just pure flame. Now she can't shoot it, but she'll be ready to shoot next round. And she's aiming at you, Sven.
You want to have a little archery contest?
Snapper and Beltran, what do you guys do now? Beltran, you are squished down behind the thing, so you do not see Kazir get entangled. Snap, you certainly did.
Okay. I'm going to use cast a spell called Pilfering Hand.
Pilfering Hand, what does that do?
Ultimate Combat, page 239. Basically, what I want to do is I want to cast it to bring that gift over to me.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the spell. I mean, you can do other things with it, like you need combat maneuvers and that kind of stuff to disarm people.
All right, you created control in an invisible telekinetic force, manipulating it with abruptness, allowing you to seize an object from an opponent and remotely manipulate it. It does not, it's just one object. It doesn't have a weight. Yeah, fine. So you grab this thing,
right,
and bring it to you.
Right.
All right, cool. Hold on a sec. I can't, it's part of the map, so
I know.
You have it.
Okay. Now, can I move it all after that?
Yes, that was a standard action to cast the spell. So you just reach out and you're just like, thump, and the thing shows up in your hand.
Can I, with it, with the box, with the gift, can I climb out the window, back out, get outside?
Yes, you can. You only just, but yes.
That's what I now have that gift, and I'm outside.
Okay, here is the gift. I'm just going to put it on top of you there, so
That's
just
fine.
to note that you have it.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So you do that. What about you, Beltran? You hunkered down, so you really haven't seen anything yet, but I'm assuming you pop back up.
Yeah. Now that everyone's close by, I'm going to cast Bless.
All right, so you're going to cast Bless in that's a 30-foot radius?
50.
50, that's going to get everybody.
Yeah. So everybody's got +1 to attack and +1 saves versus fear.
Okay.
That's going to be helpful. Bless. All right, got it. Cool. That's all you're going to do?
Yep.
Okay. Next up, Kazir and Lama. Kazir, you are entangled, so there's a limit to what you can do, but you are not entirely ruined here. But she is beginning to bring you upward, like drag you up with her to the thing, and you are connected to her by the by this rope.
Right. So if she's pulling me up already, that means the rope is taut, yes?
Why don't you let me go first, Kazir, see if I can help you out.
Okay. You go first.
Okay.
Bam. with the scimitar, raging.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to cut the rope. That's what I'm after.
You're going to attack the rope. Okay.
So.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Cool. What'd you roll?
21.
21 to attack the rope. Okay. That will hit the rope. So you bring that your scimitar down on the rope. It is wiggling back and forth, trying to get away from you.
14 points.
14 points of damage to the rope. All right. So let me see what this rope does here.
Lego my ego.
All right. So the rope in this case gets a saving throw. And it's a reflex save. Hold on a second. At the Aaron Eyes level. So reflex save against 15 is... Ooh, okay. So, hold on a second. Here we go. Where's my thing? There we go. Okay. So the DC is 15. It gets a +8 on reflex save. So it may be able to dodge out of the way. Oh no, it did not. So, so Llama, you swing your scimitar at this as hard as you can, and you're raging, and you can see the rope try to back out of the way, like get out of the way of your attack, but it fails to, and you do manage to sever it, and Kazir falls to the ground. Kazir, you are prone.
Do I need to make an acrobatics check?
To avoid landing badly?
Yeah, to avoid being prone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, roll it.
18.
18. I think that would be a DC 15, so you do land on your feet. The
Superhero landing. Superhero landing.
Nice. The rope around you sort of falls to the wayside, and the other piece of rope that was severed that is still in Aaron Eyes sort of comes and curls. It actually moves and curls back around her, and is sort of like kind of like doing this thing like a snake almost. And it's, for lack of a better term, looking at you, Llama.
How much of the rope did we take off?
Maybe 12, 15 feet out of a 50-foot rope.
Damn, that's a big.
But I mean, it's pretty solid. You just cut an Aaron Eyes rope and cut a piece off of it.
That's why I said you were a damn girl. That's a long rope.
That is a long rope, but she's tough. All right, so are you going to move at all?
I did to get up to her.
All right, so Kazir, what are you doing?
Well,
so now you're released, so you're not entangled anymore, and you landed on your feet with the acrobatics check.
So how far away from me? You said she went up 6 feet?
About 6 feet, so she's
So
still,
still
I mean,
within
she's still
striking range.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to attack.
Take her knee off.
Okay, 16 is going to miss.
Yeah.
Because she has a pretty high AC. All right.
Remember, you guys get the +1.
Not going to help.
No,
Wouldn't matter.
But it's a good reminder that you would get that +1 to attack. Nolan and Sven.
Let Nolan go.
All right, Nolan, what are you going to do?
Okay.
I'm going to start summoning monsters.
You're going to summon a monster. Do you know what you're going to summon?
Remember?
No, but it'll take a round. What?
We're going to get company in the back gate in a minute.
It'll take a round, so I'll figure out what I'm going to do here.
Okay. All right, so you begin summoning. Sven, what about you?
I am going to. I assume that the pews are difficult or.
Yes, difficult terrain if you're like going to roll over them, yes.
No, I'm going to avoid them. I'm taking a path of here to here and along to here would be 30 feet.
All right, so you're going to kind of scooch around and try and get over to the side there?
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that gives me flanking. Is
Yeah, with me.
It would. Absolutely it would.
Okay, so I'm taking one shot.
Okay.
You get
With
it.
flank, which means it will have sneak attack damage if you hit.
That's the
But
idea.
no flat-footed. That's not going to hit.
Crappy roll. Jeez.
Ting! Your arrow bounces off the ceiling.
Ah.
All right.
So I'm a little intimidated.
She turns around and looks at you, and she's like, an archery contest, yes? I love archery contests. And she swirls around and shoots at you. But first, before she does that, she moves backward 5 feet so as to avoid multiple attacks of opportunity, and now she's floating above the altar.
And I'm going to be so easy to hit.
And she is going to shoot you with her
flaming
specialty arrow. Okay.
Let's just get
5-foot step. It's going to be more than one arrow. It's going to be 2 arrows. You are not going to like it one bit.
She may waste doing 2 arrows. She could probably take me down 1. Yeah, well, they both hit.
They both hit?
Easily.
Right. These are arrows of flame that are shooting towards you.
Oh, dear.
You're like, wow! D8 plus 6 plus D6 of fire. Okay, do you have any resistance to fire or anything like that?
Uh-uh.
All right. Excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. This is the primary arrow damage, 15. And then the fire damage, another 12. 27 points total of damage. How you feeling?
You hear a whimper, a call for a medic, and I'm at -2.
Oh, he goes down.
Oh, my God.
I'm not very sturdy.
He goes down after you guys see 2 of these arrows slam into him. He falls down into the area next to the thing, and you hear her laugh. Who's next? Snapper and Beltran are next.
We don't say that, though.
You will serve the master in hell.
I'm going to say as a free action again, somebody bless this weapon. Is this
I can't.
Oh,
I'm coming over to here, and then I'm going to cast Cure Moderate.
On.
Just anyone who happens to be near me.
All right.
Say you went the wrong way.
Wait, what?
Oh wait,
Nobody's injured over there.
Nobody's injured over there. Oh, you're gonna go over by Sven. Okay. I was like, what? Who's he curing? It's just like, I just want Nolan to.
Oh, that's actually 1 point higher. I haven't updated this macro yet.
So 14? 14 points?
Yeah, 14 points.
All right. So you come back from unconsciousness, although the scorching smell of your own burnt armor is still rich in your nostrils as you wake up as this healing energy comes flowing through you.
Thank you, sir.
But both of you are like, holy shit, Snacks.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Beltran. Snap, what are you doing? You've got the box. You're outside. You see this thing shooting arrows all over the place. And you're like, maybe
this thing wouldn't be considered an undead, would it?
No, it's a demon.
All right. Well, I'm hitting it with a searing light.
Searing light through the broken window. Okay.
And 2 die 8.
Hold on. Does she get a?
It's a ranged touch attack.
I was going to say it's a range. It's a touch attack, right? There's no save, although spell resistance is in effect, which would be fun. It's a ray, so it would need to be a range touch.
Yeah. Okay. It is that +3
Plus your dex, if you have any.
Nope.
You did not make the range touch attack?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man. All right, so the light goes blasting past. It just kind of dodges out of the way. And Beltran, you get hit full in the face with what is an immense amount of light. You're briefly blind, and you're like, what the? It's like somebody shining a flashlight in your eyes when you're on a camp out. All right, so that's Beltran. Kazir and Lama, you just saw this thing shoot the crap out of Sven. Beltran ran over there and got him back on his feet, but you're just like, we got to put the hurt on this thing, or otherwise it's going to put the hurt on us.
Here, can you go first this one?
Yeah, I'm just going to take a 5-foot step and attack.
Okay.
And miss.
And miss.
My
You
God.
are rolling. This is like so. Chuck,
No,
I
it's
just have
not.
to
It's
say-
not. I'm rolling bad tonight. It's I roll bad every night.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, this is like the third night in a roll. You've been rolling bricks.
The random number generator hates me. Obviously.
Yeah, the die roller always hates him. It just hates him in very different degrees.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. 21.
That was Lama's attempt to grab her leg and throw her to the ground.
That's a grapple check.
It would
Okay.
actually be a 22 because of the bless if you didn't.
Because of
have
the
that.
bless. Hold on. I got to check her.
Wait, I think Gordon stuck the blast on there. Did you, baby? You did. Yeah, it's 21.
21. Yeah, not even close. You reach up to try and grab her, and she just sort of lifts her leg up away from you and is like, "Oh, my pretty! I can see that you're trying. Yeah, your little plan is going to be foiled again."
I'm gonna tell
And
her
you
she's
can
got a
see
bad
that as you get closer, that rope starts to like come out towards you.
I tell her she's got a bad habit of touching things that don't belong to her.
I have many bad habits, little missy. All right, so a couple of misses there. Nolan and Sven, you guys are starting to get a little worried. Nobody seems to be touching this thing.
Andrew, this isn't your character.
I'm going to do a 5-foot step so I can maintain flanking, and 2 attacks.
Okay.
Oh, do I get flanking on that? Would I have got a flanking on that? A flanking
No, you wouldn't
Not
have got
with the
flanked.
range.
Well, it was like a grapple check too. Which I don't think you don't get flanked for.
Holy crap.
Oh, confirm. Oh, dude.
Oh, you're gonna shoot me.
Dude. Oh, no. That is a confirmed fumble. Hold on a second. I got to find the critical chart.
Oh! I was not feeling too well after that.
That sounds like a Friday night at the age of 19.
All right, here we go.
Apparently, we're like missing the fun.
Fumble. Ranged. Oh, no. Your attack hits in the line of fire. Your attack hits the nearest ally and is a critical hit. You must now make a severity check. You must confirm the crit.
Okay.
So who's the nearest ally? It's Lama.
That'd probably be me, the guy who just healed him.
Oh, and now I roll well.
God, and he confirmed the crit. Oh my God!
Damn.
Moderate crit
so
against
sorry.
Lama.
The good news is it's only D6.
Ooh, shattered jaw.
You broke my jaw.
Target suffers max damage and 1 con. Target cannot speak or bite until healed.
You know those people that have really good control of their eyebrows? Well, Lama does, and hers goes.
Out.
Shattered jaw. All right, what's max damage on this thing?
Well, it's just a short
Without
bow.
this, you do no sneak attack damage.
Yeah, it's short
Well,
bow.
now wait a second. I think she's flanked by Kazir, isn't she? No, I'm kidding.
It's just a short bow, so it's a D6 damage.
So six points of damage and 1 point of con damage, and you cannot speak or chew. As this arrow hits you hard in the jaw and breaks your jaw, shatters it.
Definitely get the eyebrow.
Well done, Sven. Nolan, what do you do?
So hold on. I still have another attack coming.
Oh no, fumble stops that.
Oh, it does? Automatically?
Yeah.
Well, there you go then.
Fumble stops that. I think you've done
just as
enough
well.
damage.
Yeah, so you don't get a chance to shoot me.
Yeah. So Nolan, you've got a great shot at Lama right now. If you wanted to take her out, she's already taken damage. She can't speak, so I mean, you could finish her off.
I'm going to take a double move somewhere far away from here.
You're gonna run?
No, I'm kidding.
Abandoning the party.
Yeah, I'm going to summon a giant spider.
Giant spider, awesome. Hold on, let me find you a spider.
I'm within 5 feet.
All right. How many points on that?
16.
16 hit points on the spider. Whoops. Go ahead and fix that. All right. Whoops. Hold on.
We're boring, Andrew.
So, Andrew, you have to. I was hoping that you would reach out to me this week and we could get you a guy going so you could get in the game. But I'm fully expectatious of you being in the next B team game, my friend.
Okay.
So we got to talk. All right, there's your spider. You should have control over it. Place it where you want. Where are you going to put it?
Roll up something that can roll well on the dice roller. That's all we need.
That's sort of out of character for you guys, though. All right, so you're putting the spider on the altar table.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to have it do its special attack, which is web.
Oh, it's going to web her.
I'm going to try. I don't know.
All right. Let's have a look at web. So, is this like the spell?
It's not going to matter.
Damn.
What happened?
No, it's actually a universal monster rule thing. Web. A little different, but similar to the spell, but different.
Okay, hold on. Let me
Basically,
double check.
you don't have to have it anchored like you do the web spell. You just basically attack something. It's like Spider-Man does, where he.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at that.
Well, I
Can use webs to support themselves. It's similar to an attack with a net, but has a max range of 50 feet. It's effective of targets one size category, no problem. Oh, it entangles. Creature can escape. It will entangle them. All right. So, but you rolled. This would be a touch attack.
I think a 9 is going to miss
It's
her.
a ranged attack, yeah, plus 5.
It's a ranged attack, so it will miss
Actually,
her, and she dodges out of the way. Although the web sort of gets on the back wall there, and it's kind of like kind of like swooshing around.
okay, what's no one gonna do? Let's see.
Let's put a little bit of web back there. See what it looks like. No, it's too light. See it. All right, I'm just gonna mark it with a green mark. There's a bunch of web sort of back in this area right here. Okay.
So does anybody look hurt still?
Sven does.
Yes, Sven's still at half health.
But I can't get.
Llama would tell you she was hurt if she could speak.
Oh, Llama would tell you, yeah.
And she's like, oh.
All right, so Les, how does the summon monster? It takes a full round, but does that mean I have this? I've got a full action.
Yeah, you have your full turn. The thing materializes. It can attack this round. Yeah, you're good to go. You can do whatever you want to do.
So I can see that Llama's got a dangling jaw. Which
Oh yeah, she's messed up.
he considers leaving it, but then decides to.
Oh!
Wait, did I say that out loud?
Okay.
It was painfully obvious.
Ouch. 18 points of healing, and that will it will heal the broken jaw. It will heal the hit points, but you are still down. It will not. I don't think it will heal the con damage.
Nope. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
you need a lesser restoration for that.
Did you change? I had con damage. You said that.
one.
Yeah, 1 point of con damage.
I missed
Was
that.
it temporary or permanent con damage? Permanent would
tempor-
require restoration. Temporary is fixed when healed.
It's permanent.
But,
Wow.
but 1 point isn't enough to actually change anything, right?
It's not going to change. Yeah, no, I don't think it'll
Well, unless
affect
if
her.
you've got an even con, then yes, it does change stuff. If con's
Yeah.
odd, then it doesn't.
What's your con?
You got an
18.
18.
Ooh, yeah, it will actually be a
So
factor.
it takes it from a +4 down to a +3.
Yeah, let me.
That eyebrow just went a little bit higher, Dan.
Which, if you are 5th level, I believe,
Sorry.
Takes away 5 hit points.
that's effectively 5 hit points going
No,
away.
fourth level.
4 hit points
57.
that you have to react, and they are permanently gone until lesser restoration.
Now, of course, you're
A couple of
raging.
scrolls of
so-
that.
But you had an old. You keep copying these old character sheets, which changes the hit points for us, Les. Which Jennifer didn't notice, so she's got way more than she actually thought she had.
Yeah. And don't forget, you're raging right now, so you actually have more hit points.
Okay, so is this accurate? What her hit point is
Yeah.
now? She's half down,
No. I've only taken 6 plus.
and she just got a bunch of healing.
I don't know. You had 31 of what was the? I just changed it. It was 31 of.
37.
So you took 6 points. So
Yes, I
you.
51.
No, she's full now.
And now, now I'm full.
57.
Except I'm
But she
down.
If you're down
So-
4, so if you've got if your total is 37,
I'm
that's your max.
57.
57. So now my
57.
Now my max is 53.
Since when does a 4th level barbarian have 57 hit points?
Barbarians get a lot of hit points less.
Damn. All right, so she's full, except for she's down 4, so she's at 53.
No, the character sheet I have adjusts for that. Unless it's 57 right now with the -1.
I'm 53.
Oh, it did. Okay. So she's at 57 out of 57.
I'm at
Right,
53
yep.
and 53. 57
Got it.
is normal.
No.
Oh.
No.
I'm higher.
60 is 61 normal.
-1
Oh,
con.
okay. All right.
Okay. All right. We're good. All right. That's Nolan. Sven, did you do anything? Oh, you hit Lama.
Yeah.
Ah!
My turn.
Wait.
What?
Sorry. So that was Nolan's turn, right? That just finished?
Yeah.
It is 53.
Okay, got it. Ready.
Everybody needs to check their hit points though, because the characters,
Yeah, the character sheets were down.
the icons are different from what the
Yeah.
actual character sheet.
I already
is.
fixed mine.
Thank you, Gordon.
What is she gonna do? Well, she's had some pretty good luck with that bow, so I think she's gonna do that again. Although not at Sven. I think she's gonna shoot this.
Because I'm more help than anything else.
She feels like she's got an ally. She's gonna shoot that spider, I think.
Intelligence. She should run at this point.
Yeah, I think she should be scared.
That's
I don't know. 27 and 24 against the spider. Either of those hit?
Those are both hits.
AC is 14. Yeah.
Okay, so first off, arrow damage. 18. That's going to put her out. And then fire damage from the flaming arrows is another 10. 28. That's going to be more than enough to send this thing back to whence it came. Yes?
And then Llama and I get attacks of opportunity, right?
Yeah, because she's using a ranged weapon. So yes, you would.
There's no one.
Nope.
Yeah, I get to miss again.
Oh, gosh.
You need to go to just die, Chuck. Just grab a set of die. Seriously.
Yeah, man. I don't know when the last time you hit anything was.
Ouch.
Lama's not hitting anything either, though. So you guys are just like swiping around with the swords, trying to get.
When did I start playing with this group?
It's been a while.
Unless
right.
that was Nolan with the long spear.
You're gonna try with the long spear, so you use a range. Okay.
Well, not range. He's got reach with it.
But he
Oh,
missed.
reach. I'm sorry. That's what I meant.
What he's saying is he missed. That was his 2.
Oh, well, what about you, Lama?
Woo, 24?
That's a hit. Whoever's
Nice.
roll that was, that's a hit. That you, Lama?
That's me, baby.
All right. So, do you have any sort of magic on your weapon?
I don't. I keep begging for it. So half damage, 15.
No, DR. Just DR.
15.
15 points. That hits, and she is not happy about that. You get her in the leg with a nice slash, and you can see her brackish, dark crimson blood come dripping out onto the thing. She whirls that arrow down at you, and she's like, "You're next!" As she looks at Lama. Lama, you're not entirely enthusiastic about being next.
Lama, your scimitar only does 1d6?
No, it was 1d6 plus 10.
Right, but I mean, the base is only 1d6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, except for when she's enlarged.
So didn't I hear Gordon say that we had a +1 greatsword somewhere? Party.
Yeah, and Party Booty somewhere.
The thing about scimitars is that they don't do a ton of damage, but they have a much larger crit rating.
Yeah.
So they crit, if I recall correctly, they crit on an 18, 19, or 20.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's why I was asking if you bless my weapon, but apparently that's not.
But just so you know,
Not in the cards.
a greatsword crits on a 19 or 20, so it's not that much worse.
It's not that much worse.
And
Plus
it would be magical.
Plus, it does a shitload of damage, too.
Yeah.
Magical.
And it's magical. All right, so top of the order, Snap and Beltran. Snapper, you're outside. What are you going to do, man?
I'm casting spiritual weapon.
Spiritual? And your spiritual weapon is a bow?
No, it's a dagger.
Dagger.
Bow
That's
is from A team.
There you go.
And
Hold
it does.
There you go.
If that's better than last.
Thanks. Sorry. Looked like the sorting hat there for a second.
Gryffindor.
Gryffindor.
You Slytherin.
Snapper's definitely from Slytherin.
That's,
All right, so it doesn't
that's
attack.
a hit.
7, that's a hit.
Okay, and then 1 die 8 plus 1.
Does it do +1 per level? But wait a second. With a successful hit, this is a magical attack. You have to get past spell resistance, my friend. Roll a d20 plus your caster level. It's not 2 times. $22 will get past the spell resistance. So go ahead and roll damage.
I think it says that the thing says it's +1.
Yeah, it says D8 +1.
Oh shit!
Oh, 2 points. You guys are taking it on the chin with this thing. All right, so that's Snap. Beltran.
I'm
Ben's
casting,
still looking pretty rugged.
yeah.
Lama's drawn. It looks like it's gonna blast Lama here in a second.
Take a 5-foot step and cast Cure Light.
On Sven.
Sven. Wow.
Nice. Max Cure.
That almost puts me at max, too.
Awesome. Add those 12 points.
And then I'm going to tell him, kill her.
Kill that thing.
Or at least
All right.
distract her.
All right. Kazir and Lama.
Hi, Gazir.
I'm going to attack.
All right. Come on.
Miss.
Kazir.
A 6? Seriously. All right. So tonight, I got to go back and look. You rolled that. That was a 6.
The highest I've rolled is a 13.
5. And then a 2.
Ugh.
And then a 8. You haven't rolled double digits all night.
Well,
Oh, a 12. You rolled an acrobatics check, which was a 12.
Of course.
You did roll a 13 on your first attack.
Yes.
And before that, another 2.
Okay, Chuck, Don used to swear that if he ever had a night that he started off rolling bad, he'd actually disconnect from Roll20 and reconnect.
Back in. Yeah, maybe that's an option, too.
That's crazy. All right. So, Kazir, you attacked. You rolled a 14. That's not going to hit. 21 will hit Lama.
That was a CMB to try and pull her down again.
Then it will not.
Yeah. Shit.
Yeah, you're just missing her. I mean, frankly, your
Grappling is.
your martial instincts tell you that it would probably be easier to just slash her with the scimitar than to grab her. She's pretty slippery.
Grappling is actually, I thought that because I don't have a magical weapon, that grappling would be easier, but it's actually.
No, her CMD is really bad.
Well,
And by bad, I mean like super good.
it's the same plus as if I was to use a one-handed attack with my scimitar if the DM was feeling generous.
No, her AC is much lower than her CMD.
See what yours is?
What she's saying is, will you let her redo that and say it was an attack?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
You will?
Yeah, of course. 21. You want to keep the 21, or do you want to roll again?
No, I'll keep it.
All right, then that is an actual hit.
Oh, right.
You guys need all the breaks you can get on this thing, especially with Chuck rolling those rocks. It's not just Chuck. If it was just Chuck, oh,
Gee whiz.
not just Chuck. Damage reduction in effect. It's not even half down yet. You guys got to buck up here, buckaroos. All right. All right, Lama. That's you. Are you guys, either of you, Kazir or Lama, going to move?
No, I'm going to stay right
No.
where I'm at.
You're about to get plugged. All right, Nolan and Sven.
If I move, I'm going to get an attack of opportunity.
Probably.
Well, on top of.
Not really. She got a ranged weapon.
She also, well, she has a sword on her hip, but she hasn't drawn it yet.
So as long as if she just got a ranged weapon in her hand, she can't do an attack of opportunity.
If I move up 5 foot step, can I still hit her from that quarter? I guess she can still hit me. What's the point? I don't see any advantage in moving.
Unless you wanted to try to get flanking, you could move to that square right there.
Yeah, right here. But then she would be in your way, wouldn't she?
Oh, I can. That doesn't bother me. I got flank, precise, and everything involved.
So then I'd be flanking with Kazir.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or with the weapon down here.
Or with the weapon, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I will move there then. I just thought I was going to draw an attack.
All right, so you're going to leap up on top of the table.
You're actually flanking with the spiritual weapon right now.
That's true.
Yeah, because she's big.
Then there's no reason to move. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Nolan and Sven. Sven, got those hit points back. Now's your opportunity to make them pay.
Try the same thing. 2 attacks.
All right, you see Lama point her face away.
Attack 1.
Hey, it's a hit.
Yay! I'm going to roll the second attack before I do damage.
Okay. Oh, miss.
Okay.
Almost a fumble.
Attack. Almost don't count. And remember, magical.
They are magical. Okay. Ooh, 17
Nice
points.
damage.
That's a solid one. That one takes her high up in the armor and manages to find a little zap area, and the arrow buries herself. She screams. She screeches at you as she comes back around, and that bow comes right back to you. And she's like, "You little bastard!"
I told you I'd distract her.
You did, yeah. I mean, basically, she's looking at you now, Sven. So Lama. Oh, Nolan, what was that? Spear attack?
Yeah, 5 foot step and spear attack that missed.
Yeah, it's not gonna. That's gonna miss.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, it's her turn, and she is going to send 2 more flaming arrows towards you, Sven.
Just tilt me on my side again.
Oh,
Oh, good Lord.
natty 20. Roll to
You didn't
confirm.
need to do that.
21. Does that confirm?
You can't miss me. My armor class is only 16.
Oh, confirm crit on the first arrow, and the second arrow is a 29. Oh, we're in for a hell of a run here, buddy. All right, let's take a look at that crit. Let's go to the chart because I love the chart. So that's a range attack, moderate crit.
Drop the bar to 0.
Spun around. Target suffers max damage and is flat-footed for 1d2 rounds. That's not gonna be good. That's not gonna be good for anybody. So let's go ahead and roll that d2. 1 to 2 is 1 round. 3 to 4 is 2 rounds. Ooh, 2 rounds. You are flat-footed for the next 2 rounds. So let me mark that.
Pretty sure.
Now, how does, Les, really quick, how does that go against Uncanny Dodge, which says that I cannot be caught flat-footed?
Well, so this isn't catching you flat-footed. It's rendering you flat-footed. So Uncanny Dodge.
So that means that if he's before the initiative, if he's fine, he can't be flat-footed.
Yes.
Even if something attacks him.
But this spell would bypass, or this.
Right.
Well, no. Well, not really. I mean,
Injury.
no. It would invalidate it. I think your feat would overcome the crit. So
It
yeah.
doesn't matter
I mean,
because I'm going to be dead regardless.
yeah. Theoretically, you would be flat-footed, but in this case, the feat ignores that. So the first one is you take a maximum of 8 plus 3, which is 11, and then 6 points of fire damage. That's 17 points. That's max for the first arrow. And then the second arrow is going to be another D8 plus 3. Ooh, 4 points. You lucked out, buddy. And then the fire damage. 4. So another 8 points. So that is 11, 17, and 8, 25.
I'm at -1.
Oh, he's down again. And Beltran, you get a look on his face like, I cannot keep this dude on his feet. She screeches with glee. Now for you, half-orc creature.
Do we get our attacks of opportunity?
You sure do.
Well, yeah, I get to miss again.
Oh!
Yeah, you did. A 7, another single digit, and minimum damage if you'd have hit.
Oh, Kazir.
24 will hit.
Nice.
That's me. That's Nolan. But
Just checking out range.
6 points with damage reduction. There you
Wait,
go.
why did you only do +2, Lama?
I
No,
haven't done.
that was Nolan.
Here's my attack of opportunity coming up here.
Oh, that was Nolan. Okay.
He got excited.
I thought that was Lama.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Well,
Lama. Yes.
nice.
That's a hit. And that's a crit threat.
Reroll.
Oh,
No crit, but you do get exploding dice.
so that's max. How does that work?
No, you roll them, and if you roll, if any dice hits max, you get to roll that dice over again. Another one.
I did. +10.
The dice.
No, the dice.
Oh.
So 13 points of damage with damage reduction.
Okay, I'll take it. Take
All right. Every little bit helps. You're chipping away. Chipping away. All right, so that is the end of that round. Snapper and Beltran. Beltran, Sven is back down. He took another 2 of those flaming things. He's got big scorch marks on his armor. He's, it's just like, what in the bejeebers? I can't heal this guy enough.
I yelled to Demon, I just fixed that.
He's within 30 feet of me. I'm gonna burst.
You're going to burst. Can you exclude her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me
So a
double
burst
check.
of healing energy reaches out.
Yep. Selective channeling.
Excellent.
3 dice 6.
Wow, nice.
Ten points of healing energy filters through the building,
Spins
affecting
back
anyone
up.
who's down any hit points.
I'm like a bad penny, bitch.
Sven's like, yeah. So the first thing she does is she plugs you, Sven. You go down like a bag of bricks. Beltran runs over there, gets you back on your feet. You're like, I'm back in the game. You're, with your arrows and stuff like that. She plugs you again. You go down. A wave of healing energy, and you're like, staggered back to your feet. Like, I'm back.
I was going to say, he's just going to lay there. He's like, no, I'm done.
Stay. And she's like, stay down. All right.
Can
So
my spiritual weapon can attack too, can it?
absolutely.
Do spiritual weapons get an attack of opportunity?
They do. I think we managed new canon is that they can.
Did you
So-
not take one,
He
Snap?
did not take it last time, but he can take it now. We'll allow it if he wants to take it now.
I
Go
will.
ahead and roll the attack of opportunity now.
It's in a +2. No,
I
That's-
don't know.
Doesn't need it.
I need it. 26.
26 is a hit.
You had me roll something before.
It was 1d8 plus 1. Oh, spell resistance. Once you pass the spell resistance, you don't have to do it again.
Excellent.
Don't roll a 1 this time.
Yeah, thanks.
Ooh, max damage. Very nice. All right, and now you get your attack for the round.
All right. Nope.
16 will miss, so it did not get him this time. All right, so that's Snapper. Are you going to move at all, or you can stay right there at the broken window?
I'm doing the best I can. Yeah. I mean, the objective was to get that gift, and so I can heal people. If I can reach them, I can continue to burst and keep people up. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to stay there. Beltran, Cure Light, 9 points on Sven.
How'd you know it was on Sven?
Thank you, sir.
You're not near anybody else. And basically, you're devoting
And
all
nobody
of
else
your
is
efforts to
injured.
keeping that up to speed.
As you say, the way this fight's going, I'm about to start healing her and taking her side.
All right.
Hey, I'm doing damage too. It's okay.
Beltran, you going to move at all?
Nope.
You don't want to move away from
Let's
Sven
stay right
and
next
pretend
to
like you
Sven.
don't see him
Next time
getting
we
injured?
go
Yeah.
I can stay right next to Sven.
I, for one, welcome our new demon overlords.
All right, cool. The Brain Trust, Kazir and Lama. You guys
Really,
are
do I
up.
have to do this again?
Come on, Kazir.
Come on, you can do it. Oh, man, dude.
Roll a single digit.
Dude.
Hey,
Another
yeah.
single
Hey, Chuck.
digit. I don't know how
Hey,
you
listen. I dropped out of Roll20. I relogged back on, and that time I used the dice roller instead of the pre-programmed crap, and it came out all the same.
Chuck,
It's the same.
roll 5 attacks in a row.
Oh, and Lama gets nothing either.
Okay.
There's 2 hits in there.
Yeah, now that I've burnt them up
three
when they
max
weren't
damages.
actually attacks.
I don't know
Well,
what to tell
they
you.
would have been other people's hits. That's okay.
So a 5, a 6, a 17, an 8, 18. Yeah.
2 hits and 3 max damages.
So Les likes to go back and do the averages, and if you come back and tell me that this was average, you're full of shit.
I was gonna say,
Hey, the math
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
lie,
he's
Chuck. I don't know
going
what to tell you.
Math lies all the time, Les.
They're only numbers. If you torture them hard enough, they'll tell you anything you want to know.
Look,
Was that-
Dan,
was
I
that
don't know
quote
that
from
with your
Mark
theoretical
Twain?
math. I don't know with your 2 math degrees, you should even weigh in on the statistical analysis here.
Mark Twain
I don't even know
quote.
you're qualified to talk.
There's 3 types of lies:
Ugh.
lies, damn lies, and statistics.
This I don't know. This seems legit.
Statistics was the only class I got a B in because it was bullshit.
It sure is.
All right, so Kazir and Lama, a couple of swings and misses. That brings us down to Nolan and Sven. Sven back on his feet, little switched out.
Let's give it a shot. Why not? Hold on.
At this point, I would throw myself on my sword, but I'd probably miss.
Sven, too bad, buddy. And 17's not going to hit for.
How about a 21?
21 is a hit.
Yeah, baby.
That's the number, isn't it? That's the magic number.
That's the number. Yeah, it's AC 21. 14 points of magic.
Do you have a magical weapon?
Another one jinks in there. You can find that same crease in the armor, and she's like squalling away.
Remember, Genevieve, this is for my niece.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This is you keep hitting her. Lama keeps doing it. I gotta keep shooting at you, dude. It's the
Yeah, I got it.
She's gonna go after the guy who's most dangerous to her, and you're
That's what I'm here for. And I'm an automatic hit unless she gets a crit fail.
And my thing gets a attack of opportunity, doesn't it?
Everybody does, yeah.
Sweet.
Ooh, she's
Nice.
gonna get 2 hits there.
Of course. Like I said, unless she gets a 1, she hits.
Oh,
And unless she gets a 1 on damage, I'm dead.
Yeah.
she did.
You didn't get
14 points of regular damage and fire damage.
Ah!
6 points. So 20 points of damage altogether. As
I'm at
2
negative.
more flaming arrows go shooting into Sven. How much did you? Are you
I'm at
down again?
-2.
All right. So Lama, which is the 24, and which is
That was Nolan.
that's Nolan. All right, that's a hit.
14 was me.
Snapper, that is a miss.
What are you doing?
And so that 10 points, that's from you?
That's from me.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to do.
He's rolling mine now.
Okay. Kazir, nothing?
9, down.
Plus your.
4.
I rolled a 4.
Oh, Lama. That 30's going to hit. That's a potential crit, too. But the 18 will not confirm, but you will get exploding dice.
Shouldn't even need it. This should put her down.
She might. It's close. 14 points of damage minus the DR, which is 9 points. The slash takes this thing, and it takes off a piece of her, and blood starts pouring out all over the thing. You hear a screech in agony as she begins to fold in on herself. And finally, she just tesseracts down into a point almost and disappears.
Nice. I grab my jaw.
God damn it, Sven! Sven? Where's Sven?
In all fairness, I think I got the worst of this.
You did. This is definitely. Are you on your feet? I mean, do you have any hit points left?
No, I'm at -2. I'm dead right now.
You're unconscious now.
Yeah.
I kick him while he's dead.
You go over there and give him a boot?
Yeah. Damn it.
He's unconscious again. You could totally boot him. You could finish him off.
I'd probably miss.
Coup de grace. So 2 bursts, Beltran?
Yep, that's all I got.
All right, everybody gets back 9 points. And Snapper, you're bursting as well?
Yep.
So everybody gets back 19 points, those of you who are injured.
Back to full. Guys.
And who's the one that lost the con damage?
Me.
That was, yeah.
Oh, just I wave you over because now you see me pulling out a scroll.
Actually, don't do that. You
Okay.
can't scroll. I've got 2 more second level spells left, so I'll touch Lama's jaw, and you got your con back.
Thank you, Beltran.
So we still have people coming down the streets. I have the gift.
Lama, you have the gift. Do you want to take a look at it, or what do you guys want to do?
I mean, I've got it outside here.
We need to vacate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Body to search?
No, the body's gone.
Okay.
Goes back home.
Is there anything else we want to search in the chapel? I mean, there would be good stuff in here.
You guys want to take a quick look around?
I'll go
Yeah,
around.
let's at least take a quick look.
Less.
Huh?
Sam will go back out and check out the back alley.
That door's open, and people are coming through.
I holler.
You see the silvered armor of the guards, not the city guards.
Call for help.
Help!
Help! There's a demon in here.
And then you hear in Kadir and they start running over. There's a bunch of them. And they very quickly come over there to you. You see easily 30 guys. Does anybody have knowledge local?
Fresh out.
Knowledge dungeoneering.
Ugh. What about, well,
I'm taking the gift here and hiding behind the chapel. I can't
because you're Teleshite, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, but I don't have knowledge local.
What kind of knowledge do you have?
I have knowledge miss.
Well,
And he's
you
got
probably
that
have a lot of
much
big,
die.
huge bonuses in that.
Yeah, I've huge bonuses in that. I have no other knowledge skills.
You have no other knowledge. I tell you what, give me just a quick 20. Just with no bonus, just a flat out roll.
There it is.
Never mind.
Can somebody else do Kazir a quick
Thank
detail?
you. Can you stop asking me to roll shit?
Maybe Kazir's strength is in the role playing part of it.
I'm going to
That's where he
take all his macros, put on my computer, and then when he wants to do something, I'm going to roll his stuff.
There we go.
I feel bad for you, man. You just cannot buy a break in this game. All
Do
right,
you have
so
a macro that hasn't been hacked by Les?
Do I look smart enough to be a hacker?
Hasn't been hacked by someone less paid to do it?
That would be more my style.
Yeah.
Don't we owe him a handicap at this point? I mean, come on. A +5.
We're just going to throw random pluses because he sucks at rolling. I don't know that that's. I don't think we can do. I don't know if the game allows for that kind of metric. Nevertheless, you guys are sort of. So you guys started coming out into the grounds, and you realize that there are armored men pouring in through the back door. It doesn't take long, Lama, for you to realize that there are also armored men pouring in the front door into the grounds. You guys retreat back into the thing. Snapper, you're sort of in the little area behind the thing, sort of hiding in the bushes, when you hear this noise. It's not a noise. It's a person speaking in common to you. And it says...
Who hears this?
It says you're screwed.
You all hear it. You guys are inside. Pathfinders, he shouts. You are hereby arrested in order to appear before the court of his exalted eminence, Zerbistis II, defender of the Zoe and satrap of the glorious Kathir. Praise be upon him. Lay down your arms and come with us to hear your accusers, lest you arouse the terrible displeasure of his eminence. We demand you surrender immediately.
Remember, we were the good guys here. I think we're fine.
Oh, sorry.
Come from your hiding holes and surrender yourselves to us. We can assure you of your safety, but you must stand before his eminence.
What are we accused
His
of?
eminence?
You are the Zerbistis II, defender of the Zoe and satrap of glorious Kathir. Basically, the satrap of the city.
And what are we accused of?
That is not for me to say.
Well, it is.
But
you're arresting us. You should know what we're accused of.
that is for the satrap to inform you of. My duties are to take you in, and I take you in I shall, one way or the other.
Let's just get out of this villa and then we'll attack them.
Great, it's LAPD.
I don't know why I'm here, but I'm taking you in anyway.
Surrender yourselves immediately.
Sure. I will. I'm been killed enough times.
Yeah, we're kind of outgunned here, so.
Yeah, there's 30 guys at least coming in from one side. You figure another 20 from the other. As you peer out of the window, you see that they have what look to be some sorcerers with them too. And then
right now, the only person
shiny
we murdered is a demon, which I don't think they really hold that against us.
Well, it's gone, so there's no evidence.
Well, there's the two people that Lama tied up, but we'll just hope they don't find them right away.
But there's also 2 wedding gifts that were on this grounds.
Yeah, we have 2 of the wedding gifts back.
Of course, not sure we can prove they were on the grounds before we got here, but that's okay.
Right.
So basically, you're being arrested, and you have at least 2 valuable stolen items on your person.
But they were stolen from us, so.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Les, do they know that?
Wedding.
Do these authorities know that I'm behind the building?
Well, I mean, they're calling for. I mean, potentially not, but they're calling. They yelled out, "All you Pathfinders, come on out!" The man identifies himself as Garan Minomash, and he is one of the satraps Peerless, which are master warriors and advisors.
Yeah, Doug, come back with us and keep that thing with you because it's ours.
Yeah, I think they knew we were here. This isn't just random guards.
Yeah.
We should get out of the villa, pretend like we're going with him, and then attack him.
I love the spirit, but I don't think we can win this fight.
No, we can't win this fight.
I'm still raging, so I'm not thinking clearly.
She's going to attack 50
You're
of the
raging at
satrap's
me,
own
though.
guards.
Go ahead and just hit me.
Come out. Lay down your weapons.
Yeah, I come out and I drop my bow in front of him and walk out.
Okay.
If it helps any, I'll say, I was working alone. There's nobody else in there.
Please try to refrain yourself from telling lies. We know that you are all in there. And
I know you know.
He pulls out the sheet. He's like, we expect to see Nolan, Lama, Kazir al-Kashmir, or whatever his name is, the Kelishite, Beltran, you are Sven, and Snapper. All of you must come out. And so 2 guys come up to you, Snapper, and they quite gently sort of take you into custody. They very efficiently search you. Do you have any daggers or anything on you? Any that kind of stuff?
The cleric does, yeah. I mean, he's
Well,
got.
no, I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Sven.
Yeah, Sven has daggers hidden all over him.
All right, so they very quickly and efficiently disarm you. Beyond that, they don't. Beyond the fact that the three of these guys sort of peel off and sort of flank you, and that they don't manacle you or anything like that, and they were like, "You will accompany us."
Yeah, I got it. I've been through this drill before.
What about the rest of you? Are you surrendering?
Yeah, I'm coming out.
All right, so you come out. They take
With
your
the gift.
weapons, and they take the gift. And they take your weapons. And again, same thing for Kazir. You guys all come out?
I am, yeah.
Anybody not coming out? Beltran, I'm looking right at you, dude.
I come out, arrows blaze. I'm shooting them all.
You're going to do full on the last scene of like Butch Cassidy? Beautiful.
All right.
Anybody encourage Lama to come out?
Yeah, no one will talk down Lama.
Well, it'll be. I mean, if it only takes if you're in there for even 10 or 15 seconds, I mean, you'll probably deragify.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still not delamified.
That's true. You're still Lama. You might not be enraged, but you're still Lama. All right.
No,
So.
down, I come out.
All right, so you come out, and essentially the same kind of thing happens to each of you as you come out. You are very efficiently and very effectively disarmed. They take the box, they remove, whatever treasures that you have. Men are detailed, and you can hear Garan Minomash, who's this leader, instructing his men. He's got a couple of guys with him. He's like, "Marked everything down as their personal property. Omit nothing. We will have no pilfering here." And he comes in front of you. Once you guys have been disarmed and everything taken away, this guy comes in front of you. He says, "Again, you are hereby arrested in order to appear in the court of His Exalted Eminence Zerbistes II. You will hear the charges against you first thing in the morning, but tonight you will be lodged in the hospitality of the satrap. Everyone, follow me." And you guys trot out into the street.
If Time Up gives us a moment there, I'd try to inform somebody about the demon we just fought.
Like one of the guys? Like one of the guards?
Well, that guy, if he would listen to me, but anybody who would listen.
What do you say to him? You call him over and say, "Excuse me, sir."
Just letting you know, we just finished a battle with a very strong demon. I don't know if there's any others on this property.
Is this? The guy looks at the rest of you. Is this true?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
He points to two of the sorcerer-looking guys. He's like, "You and you, examine the space. See if there's any evidence of evidence of abyssal or demonic presence. Go." And they trot off. They go into the chapel and they go in there.
Lama will tell him that there's a couple people tied up in the closet too.
in a kind of a shy voice.
All
but
right,
the demons did that as well.
You release the servants that this woman has informed us of.
We were just doing our job,
All right, come with us then. And so basically, you are escorted through the streets of the city down to the palace complex where the satrap lives. So Kathir is the capital, and the king or whatever of Kathir lives, in the city. But this is not. You're not going to see the king. You're going to see the satrap. So essentially, satraps are. You guys know what satraps are, right?
No.
Okay, so satraps are essentially like the medieval version of dukes. They essentially rule a city or a territory on behalf of the king. So satrap typically rules, if you look at the old Persian version of satraps, so the Persian Empire, when it was at its height, controlled a huge amount of territory in the eastern part of the Mediterranean Sea. And what they would do is the Persian emperor would assign a satrap, oftentimes somebody who was from that area. So if they would conquer, say, Thracia, the Persians would, after they would conquer them, they would basically make everybody subjects of the Persian Empire, and they would install a Thracian satrap in charge of the region to uphold the laws and, even more importantly, submit the taxes. And so that would be put. So the Persians were, the reason the Persian Empire was so successful was that Persians would often install local conquered peoples in charge of the local conquered areas, so they didn't have to deal with a constantly subversive, sort of underclass. So in this case, the satrap here is the satrap of the city, and he is the ruler. Often, a satrap pretty much had total power over their region. So you can assume that this particular satrap in Kathir is basically the head of the city.
Probably.
And would have complete power over whatever goes on in the city.
Were they mostly corrupt?
No, actually, if you use the Persian Empire as a model, most of the satraps, surely there was some corruption, but most of the satraps typically functioned very well. The reason being is that the Persians typically left them alone, and the Persians had their own sort of culture, but they didn't force that culture onto their conquered peoples. They were very Roman in this regard, even though they preceded the Roman Empire by they were temporally contiguous with the Roman Empire for a little bit before Rome conquered them. But being a subject of the Persians was not necessarily a bad deal. Taxes existed, but they weren't totally onerous. The Persians well understood the idea that taxing a people to oblivion inevitably meant rebellion. Most of Persia was very peaceful. Because conquered peoples after a generation or so felt themselves to be Persians rather than whatever particular race or clan designation or regional designation they may have had beforehand.
Because most of them were just pagans anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Persian emperors did not force their religion on them. They did not force, in many cases, their law structure. I mean, local laws were still in effect. Local satraps controlled the area and submitted the taxes. To get conquered by the Persians, and oftentimes was preferable to being conquered, for example, by the Greeks, who would indeed commit atrocities and subjugate the people, sometimes exterminate the local people. You look at the difference between Persian rule and Spartan rule, for example, and there were some pretty significant differences in that. The Greeks were they weren't super great to be conquered by. The Persians, however, there were instances where you would have whole city-states that would just, once the Persians were at their gates, they would just surrender and say, okay, we're Persian now. And the Persians would be like, great, here's your satrap, carry on with what you were doing. And they would move on to conquer the rest.
Yeah, the Romans borrowed from that model.
They did, in large part. At least the early Roman Empire, especially under Augustus and the five emperors, would have that same thing. When you had this rapid expansion of Roman power throughout Gaul and throughout the Romans were no picnic, and they would freaking obliterate you. But also, if they conquered you, oftentimes the local nobility would automatically sort of become Roman citizens. Yeah. So you might be a provincial, but you still had certain rights. Anyway, they take you to the satrap's palace. And you find yourself housed in what is described in the module as the land's most opulent prison. The chambers are elegantly appointed. They're solid, although they're solid iron doors locked from the outside. You are warned that any spell casting that goes on within the rooms will arm a lethal magical trap. That will any magic use will arm it. The secondary instance of magic use will set it off. Your weapons have been, and any obvious magic items have been removed, but you're otherwise treated pretty significantly with courtesy. You're not even really, other than the initial search, which removed your weapons and other stuff, you're not even searched after that.
Of course not. We're the good guys.
And you spend the night in this, excellent prison. You're brought food and drink, which is of excellent quality. You're provided. The beds are provided, blankets, covers, a fire is built. Frankly, you've been in worse inns than this prison. It is quite nice. And then the next morning, just a little while, about an hour after sunrise, more guards show up and say, it is time for you to attend the satrap's court, where your charges will be brought to you, and you will be given an opportunity to defend yourselves. Please, dress. Breakfast is brought, some washing up kind of stuff, and your clothes are clean and that kind of thing. You have 1/2 of the hour to prepare yourselves, and then we will go. Is there anything you require?
Breakfast.
Mimosas?
I'm good.
It is brought a lovely breakfast with all the trimmings. Your clothes and water and hot water and things are brought so that you guys can clean up and that kind of stuff. Again, you're treated with every courtesy except for the locks on the doors.
Are we able to request someone to be summoned to speak on our behalf?
The guy who's basically attending to you says, I'm sure those questions will be answered once you reach the court. But yes, it is typical for someone to speak on your behalf. We do not expect you to know our laws in detail, and that puts you at a definite disadvantage from the point of view of defending yourself against any charges.
I didn't necessarily mean a public defender. I meant a character witness.
You'll be able to address all charges and call witnesses of your own. Your attorney will act on your behalf. If you have witnesses or anyone that you wish to call, that will be arranged.
Okay.
And so Kazir, being the closest to Qadiran in nationality and having some understanding of Qadiran law, you do understand that while Qadiran law can be harsh, it is scrupulously fair. So whatever else happens in court, you will absolutely have a chance to defend yourselves. You will have representation that is qualified and capable. You'll be able to call witnesses on your behalf. All of these things, and when you are found guilty, obviously that will happen. But you will have every opportunity to defend yourself. Qadiran law is fair.
Okay.
Okay.
I like the when you're found guilty part.
Yeah, he said when, not if.
Yeah, that's the point. That that's what I was getting at.
And so, as you probably remember from other court cases that we've been involved in, and other times you've been arrested by the authorities, court cases inevitably devolve into a skill challenge. Oh, yes. I'm going to give you a quick peek at the skill challenge, and then we are going to stop for the evening.
We didn't even get the donk first.
I have to get the Law and Order thing. I got to get that soundtrack. We will have a skill challenge as our first start next round as you guys defend yourself in the Qadiran court against the charges leveled against you. And that is where we will stop this evening.
You did it.
Damn it, I'll have to roll dice again.
Yeah. All right, you guys know the rules of skill challenges. Everybody has to do 2. And two people can aid. And in this case, we'll just go over there real quick. In this case, the end results, can you guys see that okay? The end result so you will have 12 skill checks leading up to round 5. Round 5 is the big one. Each of the 12 skill checks allows you, if successful, reduces the diplomacy score by 1. So if you make all the skill checks throughout rounds 1 through 4, the round 5 diplomacy check is reduced to 18. There are 12 skill checks. If you get them all, you reduce the diplomacy check to 18. But for every one you miss, you don't get the points.
Oh, let's do it now. I can't wait.
No, I got to go to bed.
You got to wait. Next time, we will do it.
All right. Night, everybody.
Yeah. Good night.
Right. Hey, Andrew, hang on for a second. Don't go
Okay.
yet.
Les, do you want me to hang out for Friday or no?
No, you know what? I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See you.
Yep. Later, dude. So, Andrew.
I'm in trouble.
You're in big trouble, mister. No, I wanted real quick. I won't keep you too late, but I wanted to ask you. You've been, frankly, you've attended every meeting for like the last month. Every one of these, like 3 or 4 things. So normally a new player would join in on B team.
Right.
Have you had a chance to look at some of the rules and consider what kind of character you might want to play? Because I feel like you've got a kind of and I'm speaking on your behalf, but I feel like you've kind of gotten a handle on how we play.
Right.
Maybe you're still interested, maybe you're not, but I'm just curious.
This is my form of self-flagellation. I've been naughty, so I sit through the games. I've looked through the rules, and watched some of the challenges, and I think a lot of it has to do usually with who else is in the party and what they want to do. When I mentioned it to my daughter, she said, "Oh,